Hello, everybody. How are we doing? It's Thursday. It feels like a long week, even though we have Monday off. How's everybody getting on? Of course, he's in first. He's always first. Window reviews. Window reviews. Thomas. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing well, my friend. How's things? How's everybody doing? I've already got my first beer out. I fancied a beer tonight. I don't normally do lives midweek, if I'm honest, but I did fancy a beer tonight. I've had just a busy day. And I thought, you know what, you deserve a beer. My wife's gone on holiday today as well, so I've got the house to myself, so I can make all the noise I want now because my daughter normally sleeps. The bathroom's next to this one, and then my daughter's room's the far end of the house, and I normally wake her up all the time. So I thought, yeah, why not? Why not get a little live going? What's been going on then, guys? What's been going on? I don't even really know myself. It's been busy. I've been busy. Busy doing I don't know, family stuff. Like my brother come up from Brighton with his family over the bank holiday, and it was lovely to see him because we don't see each other. We don't see each other at all, really. But it's so lovely to see him, see all my nieces and nephews because he's got 3 kids. So the house was just absolutely mental for a couple of days, but it was brilliant. It was lovely to see everybody. So yeah, this week's been sort of like out of the furnace and into the fire. Is that the phrase? It feels like I've literally come off of a mental. I ended up having Thursday, Friday off as well, so I had like a 5-day weekend, and it was just like 3 kids, entertaining, all that jazz. They all stayed here as well at the house, so it was just like yeah, it was bonkers. But yeah. I didn't really drink that much over that weekend, if I'm honest. I wasn't. I was just so busy. I wasn't really feeling it. So yeah, I thought tonight's the night. We're gonna have a couple of beers tonight. Boom! Look at that. This is the Augustina Helles Lager, or Lager Beer Hell, as they say. David Wilson, how you doing, my friend? Hi, Mark. Hello, mate. I hope you're well. Any beery adventures, David? You're normally off doing something pretty cool. Mark S, hello, my mate. Hey, Mark, just had a great day at IPA this evening. They are good, aren't they? They are really good. There was a couple of months where I had a few bits from Daya and I wasn't really that bothered. But the last 9 months, I haven't had a load of their stuff, if I'm being entirely honest. But what I have had has been very, very good. I did enjoy it. I know it's basic, and I know it is basic, but I did enjoy a steady rolling man on keg the other day. It was just like, yeah, it was just really good. Is it 5.2%? It was just a really good beer. It wasn't that expensive. It was like $5.20 a pint, so I don't think that's too bad for a pale ale of that quality. But I'm enjoying my lagers of this quality. Here we go. Off to a gig, and we'll be drinking Colonel Export Stout. I hope that's after the gig. That's quite pokey at the Colonel Export Stout. Kevin Parton, good to see you, my man. How you doing? David Wilson says hi to Kevin. So yeah, what's been going on? Little updates, really. What has been going on? London Craft Beer Festival. Haven't done a live since. Went to that. That was fantastic. Absolutely my number one beer festival in London that I've been to ever. I just thought the London Craft Beer Festival just had everything. It had so much choice. The kind of all you can, it's not all you can drink because that makes it sound like a booze. It makes it sound like a gluttonous thing. But the kind of prepaid drinks thing where you pay for your ticket and then you just drink and drink and drink. That was fantastic because it was just like saved so much time, like money, transactions, blah blah blah. Then and as well, I thought the breweries, I thought it was gonna be like one of those like all you can drink or like beer included in the ticket sort of festivals where breweries would bring like a table beer, a lager, and a 4.2% pale. But it wasn't like that at all. Like Elusive bought I think it was a double red IPA, and they bought a triple IPA. Verdant bought a pale and a double IPA. I was trying American stuff like this American stout I had from 903 Brewing. It's on Chris's beer reviews. Go and have a look at his channel. The review's on there. And that Texas breakfast stout was a joke. Just honestly, some of the country's top beer and beyond. And it was just a fantastic day. And they weren't shy on pouring them either. They were really, really keen to pour them. Kevin says hello to David. Here we go. Mersey Beers. Hello, my mate. Good evening. First down the ale for me since last week. Just disappointing Brewdog Blood Orange. It was expected, but it was a gift. Now on Checkmates from Thornbridge. You know what? I still haven't had that. Still haven't had that Checkmates. I just don't live near a Lidl. Was it Lidl or an Aldi? Probably Lidl. They're normally the best for beer, aren't they? I just don't live near a Lidl. I don't. My nearest one's probably 35 minutes away, 40 minutes away, and I just don't go that way. So I still haven't had Checkmates, and I haven't seen it, obviously, out here. Out in Norfolk, you just don't see those sorts of beers. If very often, if ever, sometimes. David Wilson says, doing okay, thanks. London Brewers Alliance, next one, it's Saturday the 16th of September. Yeah, that's meant to be quite good, isn't it? Is that the one? That's the one held by London Fuller's, isn't it? And they an unlimited pause one as well. Yeah, there we go. Same people also do one in Cardiff and Manchester. Is this the London Brewers Alliance? Is that when you say the one in Manchester, is that the Indie Man? Because the Indie Man lineup looks mental. Mersey Beers actually messaged me on Instagram. Was it yesterday, mate? I feel like it was yesterday. But I'm in Birmingham I think I'm in Birmingham that weekend. But yeah, the London Craft Beer Festival, it was so good. It was so good because if I'm being perfectly honest, Brew London was disappointing because it was so much smaller. Like Brew London last year, I loved it. I thought it was one of the best festivals I've ever been to for beer. It was a bit of a different structure this year because I wasn't there for the weekend, whereas I was last year, and I accept that. But the Brew London Festival was probably a quarter of the size, or maybe even a third of the size that it was before. And it just didn't hit home the way it did last time. So I was pretty gutted about that. Then I went to GBBF, and that was fantastic. I actually thought GBBF, GBBF was brilliant this year. Absolutely loved it. Wish I could have spent more time there. And then, I thought, sod it, I'm going to do London Craft Beer. And it was really, really good. And like I say, some of the country's best breweries bringing their best beer along. Really, really good. Mersey says, yeah, it's very good, Checkmates. I have bought 12 cans. Yeah, it's little. Yeah, I probably need to get in there. I probably do need to get in there and try it. Is it? I've just got this kind of. I don't think Budvar's the best lager in the world. I think it's probably the best of like the big macro stuff, like the stuff that you can find anywhere. Yeah, it's going to be better. It's way better than like some of the Euro rubbish that we normally find. I'm trying to but I don't think it's the best lager in the world. I really, really don't. I find it actually quite enduring to drink. Bottles, obviously, keg is totally different, especially when Redeem does his super duper check pour. So yeah, I'd be interested to try it, see what Thornbridge have been up to with it, because it was brewed at Thornbridge, wasn't it? I think this one, and wasn't it Budvar's first ever? Wasn't it Budvar's first ever collaboration? And then they've done one. Then they've done one a little bit more recently again, didn't they? Dave Wilson says no people that did London Craft. Okay, cool. Yeah. Most business, no Indie Man is completely independent from the London Brewers Alliance. Yeah, it was Tuesday, I think. Yeah. David Wilson says, I went to Manchester Craft, large beer selection like London. Is that the Indie Man one, mate? Or is there a different one? Because there's so many now, aren't there? You got like, even just the London ones, there's probably 5 or 6 different sort of similarly named beer festivals. Mersey says, Checkmates is probably not on sale anymore. Ah, poo. Oh. Well, I might catch it somewhere. You never know. Brewed at Thornbridge with UK hops and malt. Oh, okay. Okay, that's interesting. UK hops is quite interesting. It's interesting that Budvar would do that. But yeah, Budvar's first collab, and it's their yeast. Wasn't there another? Was it someone like? It wasn't Pivovar, was it? Budvar have recently done another collab. They're kind of like they hadn't done one in God knows how many hundreds of years they've been open. But yeah, it seems like they dropped 2 or they released 2 collaborations, quite quick succession. Marquess, in a similar vein, the London Brewers Alliance have an inclusive ticket day festival at the Fuller's Brewery in Chiswick, West London. Not all hype breweries, but a fantastic life and a great setting. Yeah, that is beautiful. You drive past it, don't you? Is it on the A4 or the A3? I think it's the A3, isn't it? You drive out of London. You drive out of London, and it's just there on the left as you drive out. Beautiful. I mean, I love old breweries. I love like the scarring on the walls from, from like the hooks that used to hold the old doors open. And there's just something about an old brewery, the kind of the old red crumbly, the old London red bricks, all crumbling away. And I mean, one of the best, probably not the best in like terms of like, wow, this is like blowing my mind how good it is. But one of the best brewery tours I've done just for like atmosphere. And you could literally imagine the place, at full flow back in the 1700s, was the Shepherd Neame brewery tour. They literally still had they had this really famous horse that was there, because part of it you kind of go down into where the stables would have been, where they used to tow. I think they still do to some pubs. They still tow their beer by horse and cart, much like Hook Norton Brewery. Shepherd Neame still do that in Faversham. But they've got this. Apparently, the horse got spooked one day and ran. So it's basically, when you look at the building, there's this kind of like archway, buildings either side, and it's just the brewery buildings. And then obviously the horse used to pull in, load the beer, and then go out. And there's still the scarring on the wall of where the horse got spooked and dragged the trailer all the way down the side of the kind of rampway. It's just so atmospheric. It really, really is. Dave says, "Hi, Mark S. Always a good day. Good evening, Neil Long. How you doing, mate? I've just been chatting to Neil a lot actually on Instagram. Neil's recently been in Malta, and as some of you may know, I went to Malta at the start of the year. I was on a family trip, but my wife's lovely, and she kind of goes along with me, if I'm honest. Like, she's quite one of those, like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that kind of women. She's lovely, absolutely lovely. I love her to bits. And I dragged her on some beery adventures, and some places that Neil told me about. Neil, how did you get on at Pot Bottle Shop? I know you went there. I didn't really speak to you much when you were there, but how did you get on? But yeah, what a place. Kevin Parton, evening, Neil. Sean James, how you doing, mate? Thought Checkmates was good, but not earth-shattering. Yeah, that's kind of where I am with Budvar. I think in some way, I think they're very good at their marketing, and I think their product is good. I'm not going to slate it. Budvar is probably the worst beer you're going to get out of any shop, really, isn't it? It's normally up there on the shelf everywhere. But I kind of feel like it is a little bit overhyped, Budvar, if you know what I mean. I really enjoy Budvar, I really do. But yeah, I'm with you there, Sean. I find the normal Budvar a good beer, but yeah, not earth-shattering. Mersey Beer says, correction, it was Budvar's first UK lager collab. They have a collab with Wild Beer before, but it was a standard dark ale. Oh, fair enough. Thank you for the information, mate. You're always an encyclopedia of Norwich. I live near Norwich. Encyclopedia of knowledge. David Wilson says hello to Neil. Neil says hello to Kevin and David. Mersey Beers. Hi, Neil. You have more holidays than teachers. He does, doesn't he? He spends a lot of his time on holidays, Neil. He spends a lot of his time going on these amazing beery adventures as well, normally around Liverpool. And it's a lot of places that I've heard of when I went to BeerX last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. When I went to BeerX last year, it's a lot of places that I've heard of, but I just didn't get to. Didn't have the time. This Augustina Lager genuinely is one of my favourite beers. It's so moorish. There's just such lovely honey note that runs all over it. It's absolutely delicious. Dave Wilson says, are you planning to be on for a while, Mark? Yeah, probably. I'm going to have a few, I think. Probably get off around about 10. Probably gone to about half 10. I haven't got the wife to tell me off now, have I? But I do have work tomorrow, so I can't go too heavy. But yeah, probably around about 10-ish, mate, I reckon. Somewhere around there. John and Tom the Crummy Beard are due along at some point. I know John's running around after his kids. And I think Tom might be out and about somewhere, actually. But yeah, what else has been going on? The horse box. So it's going ahead. It is going ahead. We've got our first booking. We've got our first wedding fair in October. There hasn't been much content because someone, or the person I'm doing it with, Dom, who if you've seen the videos, you would have seen Dom. He spent a lot of the time away with his. He's got a static caravan over on the east coast of Norfolk, on a holiday park, and he spent a lot of time over there with his family. This summer for the last 6 weeks. He's also been on holiday for 2 weeks. So, and there's just no pressure to get it. Obviously, you've got the October deadline. Obviously, we need to have it ready, but we're kind of to the point now where we've got a colour sorted. We've got a short list of names, and we will be making a video about names. Spoiler alert: some of our favourite ones, or some of the ones we really liked, won't work on like a commercial level, or I say commercial level, like won't work with selling it because a lot of the Instagram handles have gone, a lot of the websites have gone. So that will be a consideration in choosing the name. We want to have something original, like really original. So like the Instagram handles and the hashtags, because obviously it's so social media driven now. The Instagram handle and the hashtags, we want that to be right. We've kind of got a design of what we're going for, logo wise, or the kind of or more the lack of a logo in a way. But yeah, we're nearly there. It was just, I don't know if I've seen you since, like, I don't know if I've seen you, but we got our first booking the other day, and it was just like, wow. It's someone that I know, or I don't really speak to that often. Probably speak to this individual probably once every 3 months. It's more of a friend of a friend, but I think he's getting married, and he just wanted us there. He was like, he watches the channel, and he was like, I know you'll do a really good job. I've sent him a couple of photos. So yeah. Yes, it's getting exciting. It really is. Okay, you need to do something. Be back in a bit. Cheers, mate. No, it'd be good to see you in a bit, mate. Mersey Beer says, think low cost beers have bottle of Augustina on for like $2.50, mate. It's just a really, really, really good beer. 5.2%. It's really, really malty. It's very, very light for 5.2%. It's got a lovely kind of, after you kind of get over the breadiness and the malt, that kind of like typical bready malty flavour, there's a lovely kind of like rich honey that's in there. There. And then the back end, there's a lovely sort of light, slightly herbal but grassy. I'm not going to say bitterness or dryness, but it kind of is. If I say bitter, that's just not going to do it. Not going to be the right word. But there was a slight drying, slight bitter, grassy herbal finish, and it's just a really, really good beer. And this could get you in danger because it's 5.2%. And I don't know if I've told everybody. I don't know if I told you guys. I'm going to Munich in March. I'm going to Munich with the boys. I'm part of a young man's social club called the Round Table. It's all over the world, but there's a club in my town. And I'm the chairman this year, and we have a chairman's trip. It's a brand new club, and we started our own tradition, and it's going to be a chairman's weekend away. And this year, of course, I've chosen Munich. So yeah, it'd be really good to. It's going to be like a boys' trip, and we've got stuff to do there. And it's not about me filming videos, but I am going to go on a couple of little side quests and get a bit of stuff filmed, because you don't always go there, do you? Do you know what I mean? You don't always go there. So it'd be good to sort of have a look around. We're going to do the Hofbrau House, the Augustina Keller, and probably some other amazing beery spots along the way. Neil Long, Mersey Beers, hi, evening, mate. Been off the sauce for a few days, needed. Loves it, does Neil Long. What's the name of the horse box again? We haven't selected the name for sure. We've kind of got a couple in there. There's the Hoppy Mare, the Crafty Mare, the Barrel and Bridle, there's about six. There's about six that we've kind of whittled it down to. Thomas Flynn, hey Mark, how you been, mate? Really good. Obviously, I saw you type this a little bit earlier, but yeah, really good, mate. Sort of been busy. It's been weird. It's kind of like been busy, but I don't really know why I've been busy. One of those. Do you know what I mean? Neil Long says, yes, superb selection and prices in Pop. Had a superb Mexican lager from Tuol. Yes, that's in the kind of Corona like bottle, isn't it? The clear glass bottle with the white, with the white top. I actually bought a Ukrainian lady. She was in there with a fellow. Well, obviously, I'm married. Do you know what I mean? But I bought a Ukrainian. She was like kind of, I don't know. We were talking, and she overheard myself and the guy that owns Pop, Miguel, heard us talking, and she was like, "I don't really." I'm not going to do the accent. She was like, "I don't really drink beer. What would a non-beer drinker drink?" And I was kind of looking at the shelf because it's so cool. This tiny little shop, and it's like you just pull a bottle off the shelf, say, "Yeah, can I have that one?" Crack it open, boom. And he's also got about 4 or 6 draft lines at the back. But I said this Mexican lager will be quite good. And she was like, "Oh my god, I love this! I need a box of this." Craig, how you doing, mate? Evening, Mark. Good to see you, mate. He's just polishing off an Azvec's Falling Pianos IPA. I think I've had that. I'm looking down at the floor because there's a box of cans. I think I've had the Falling Pianos IPA. But yeah, Aztecs generally are really quite good. I'm a bit of a fan of theirs, to be honest. I don't drink enough of it, though. It's the same thing all the time. And it's kind of like where I'm in this lager phase. Do you know what I mean? Lager, wheat beer, German phase at the moment, or European phase at the moment. I'm probably missing out on a lot of really good stuff at the moment because it just doesn't really like tickle my pickle. Do you know what I mean? Whereas at the London Craft Beer Festival, it was good because it forced me back into the hoppy stuff. Like I had a really good double IPA from Verdant, for instance, that was just mind-blowingly good. Then I had a really good beer from Arbor, and New Bristol Brewery, and there were just so many good beers that I was forced to drink because each brewery bought about 2 to 4 different beers depending on the draft systems. I think Verdant only had 2. I think Arbor had 4. But yeah, it forced me back. I did kind of like dip into the lagers a little bit, but yeah, it forced me back. It was good to be drinking the hoppy stuff again, to be honest. But I've just got an absolute mountain of German beer that I've got to get through, including the box of beer that's down there that I bought. And on the way home, my car broke down, which still isn't fixed yet. But yes, Mr. Scotch Pie, hello, mate. Not seen you before. Good evening. First time here. Thank you for coming, mate. I appreciate that. I'm sat drinking a homebrew. What have you brewed, Mr. Scotch Pie? Homebrews. Some of the homebrew kits are amazing now, aren't they? Like homebrew isn't what it used to be. Like, you know, your granddad cooking it on the stove anymore. It's like they've got amazing systems, like younger guys getting involved with it. Some of the homebrew stuff I've had has been amazing. Absolutely amazing. I had from Malta, actually. I had what was it? A cardamom and carob seed English bitter that was just like one of the best beers I've had this year. My friend Lawrence, he brewed a version of Elusive's Oregon Trail that was insane, and he also brewed an American coconut stout, all homebrew. I mean, Lawrence has brewed commercially, but on homebrew kit, and some of the best beer I've had this year has been homebrew. Mersey Beers says the Horse and Jockey, the Sipping Stallion. Oh, I like that. We didn't actually have that one. That wasn't the Golding's Gelding, mate. Where were you the other day? When we were doing this? The Thirsty Farrier. That's well good as well. I'm just gonna grab my phone and take a photo of that. But yeah, homebrew now. So I'm really close to the camera. It's probably just get off. Homebrew now is just off the charts. Scotch Pie says, my own recipe for an English ale. I have an American pale ale on the go, fermenting now. Yes, I love an American pale. Probably 2 of my sort of favourite go-to beer styles are an American pale and a New Zealand or a sort of Antipodean pale. I just find them. It's just the hops, isn't it? It's soft. I like a soft, slightly sweet malt base, really fragrant. I don't like I like the kind of subtler end of the hop spectrum. So I sort of like your peaches, your citrus, but like softer citrus, and sort of the softer end of the tropical spectrum, your passion fruits, your peaches, your apricots, which a lot of those hops give you. And yeah, mate, I bet it's going to be really, really good. Whereabouts are you for Scotch Pie? Are you in the UK or are you, you must be. was gonna say you in America, but you'd be drinking beer at. Oh no, you'd be drinking beer at like 2 in the afternoon. That's fair. But yeah, so with the horse box and stuff, it's been quite busy. Like I say, first booking done. I can't remember the date. It's obviously in the diary. It's like 12th of October or something. We've got this wedding fair. That's not too bad. That was for the pitch. It was like 120 quid, including VAT, which isn't too bad. And we've got an outdoor pitch where we can take our horse box. We just need to get the blooming thing painted. That's what we need to do. It's difficult when you look at like, because we don't want to be too garish. Do you know what I mean? Because it is a wedding. It's a wedding. Primarily, it's going to be like a wedding thing. So you don't want to like paint it like mad colours. Equally, you don't want to just be boring. And we are kind of like leaning towards like the kind of boring stuff because it's so hard. It's just so hard. And then it's like, it's a difficult one because you don't want to be boring. You don't want to be garish. And you don't want to do whatever other people have done. And it's like, it's hard. Like too many decisions. You're from Lancashire. Nice one. Lovely part of the world, Lancashire. I need to get up. Or am I thinking of Cheshire? Where's Rivington? I feel like that's Lancashire, isn't it? I feel like that's Lancashire. I need to get up to Rivington anyway because I've got a VW camper van. So with like the pop top roof and everything, and Rivington have got a campsite at their brewery, and yeah, the Hazy Horseshoe, the multi-mare. The multi-mare was one of the ones on the list, mate. We did whittle the list down. I can't remember what I think we whittled it down to like 6 or 7. But yeah, I can't remember if the multi-mare was on the whittled down list. That might have been one of the ones. That might have been one of the ones that was taken, like in terms of like Instagram and stuff. That like, because it's so social media driven now, isn't it? Like, we had to literally just chalk a couple off that we really liked just because of Instagram and website availability. Scotch Posse, yep, near Chorley, not too far from me in Blackburn. I've been to Blackburn. I've went to watch. I'm a Charlton fan, football, and I went to watch Charlton play Blackburn. I think was it called like Operation Ewood? We called it. No, yeah, it was. And there was like, yeah, we sold out the away end. I think it's back in the Premier League days. I never forget. I was in a bar. I was in a pub in Blackburn, just around the corner from the ground. And it was back in the day. I mean, I was probably like 19 at the time. I went to the bar. I said, hello, mate. I said, can I have 4 Carling, please? And he went, yeah. And he went underneath and he pulled 4 cans of Carling out, still with the plastic ring pull around the top. I went, bosh. It was like £14, please. It was like, okay. It's just the strangest experience. Mersey Beer says, yeah, Rivington is in Adlington near Chorley and Bolton. Yeah, I need to get there. I love the Rivington beers. I think I say I love them. I've had about 4, 5. Definitely had 2 on keg, and I've had a few cans, and they've just been out of this world. Out of this world. And obviously they do the Daya thing by putting in the 500ml cans, so you get extra sips. Ewood is the Blackburn ground. Yet many of the pubs around there have gone. I suppose you can't survive on football trade, can you? It's like 1 day a week for 6 to 8 months of the year. That's a real shame. Neil Long says, I go on about the Stretta Lager in Malta. You do. I had it on your recommendation in the Valletta Food Market. You need to retry it. I think it's an exceptional lager, strange one. The head brewer is from Malta and the company is Maltese, but it's Austrian brewed. That is weird. It is very, very weird. But probably a good recipe. The Austrians, they're not really given the credit they deserve really for their beer. I don't think. I've been to Austria a few times, and some of their lagers and their pilsners are fantastic. I don't think I've dropped much stuff other than that from Austria. But if you go on the Beers of Europe website, I'm not sponsored to say this. If you go on the Beers of Europe website, they have a lot of Austrian stuff on there, which was quite interesting. So it might be. I've got a video actually coming out of Beers of Europe soon, hopefully probably next week. But yeah, might be time to try and extend the European beer hunt into some different places like Austria. I think there's a bit from Hungary on there as well. Going to the Austro-Hungarian area. Mersey says, yeah, Blackburn is a bit of a craft beer desert. Bolton is is a very trad cask city, but Preston is getting ironically quite crafty since I moved back to Liverpool. Oh, were you there for a long time, Mersey? Preston, another place I haven't been to, if I'm honest. Yeah, not a place I've been to. There's so many. I don't sound well travelled because I'm not like Phileas Fogg, and I haven't been to like every continent on the planet. But I think I'm relatively well travelled. I've been to probably 20, 25 different countries around the world, but I haven't been to half of the place. I haven't been to probably 70% of the UK. I've never been to Scotland. I've never been to Ireland or Northern Ireland for that matter. I've been to Wales like 4 times. I just can't explain it. I'll tell you what, I can explain it, right? I can explain it. And it goes like this. So when I first met my wife, she was on shifts. It was 4 on, 3 off. So it was 4 10-hour shifts on, 3 days off. And I was a self-employed electrician at the time, living at home with my parents. Got crumbs all down me. Living at home with my parents, and my parents were very, very good to me in terms of they like never asked for rent money. I had it quite good, to be honest. Never asked for rent money. They just said basically stick some food in the fridge, take the dogs for a walk, tidy up a little bit, and that'll do us. So I found when me and my wife first got together, I found myself with like a bit of spare money, even saving. Just had a little bit left over. I used to put that away, and then I used to notice I'd sort of have a look at the work and be like, oh, I could probably take 3 days, 4 days there. I'd say to my wife, can you nick a day before or after your 3 days off? We'll go away for 3 or 4 nights. And whenever we used to look to go away, and I've still never been, I've always wanted to go to Edinburgh. Edinburgh ticks all the boxes for me, kind of like oldie woldy Harry Potter style. I'm not that I'm the biggest Harry Potter fan in the world, but it's kind of got that old charm and character that I love. Like, no disrespect to anybody that goes, Dubai is my idea of hell. New stuff, the world's biggest this, the world's biggest that. It doesn't really tick my box personally. I prefer the oldie woldy stuff. So yeah, I'd always be searching for Edinburgh. So I go on Skyscanner, have a look at some flights. Edinburgh, £130 return for the dates we wanted. And remember, we were quite fixed because of my wife's shifts. And I'm like, oh, is it worth it? And then on Skyscanner, it's brilliant. You can literally do the dates that you want, do the airport you want to leave out from. Obviously, when we lived in Kent, we just used to search all of London because we weren't far from Gatwick, we weren't far from Stansted or Heathrow, really. And it'd be like, yeah, Amsterdam, 25 quid, or Barcelona, 40 quid, or Berlin, 55 quid. And it was like, hold on a minute, I've got the opportunity to go to a totally different country with totally different culture, experience totally new things, and it's going to cost me like a third of the price it would have done to get to Edinburgh, because the trains were like 400 quid. It was mental going on the train. And I was like, and the hotels are cheaper. And so it's like, so I never got to Edinburgh. But yeah, it's just mental that I've been to so many places around the world and I've not really done Manchester. It's ridiculous. All them kind of getting back to the story, but never done Manchester, never really done much of Lancashire, Cheshire, hardly done anything in Yorkshire, really. I think my first time in Yorkshire was when I went to see John for his lager launch a couple of years ago in Huddersfield. Need to sort that out, don't I? But we will now. We've now got the VW camper and stuff, so it becomes a little bit easier. Blue Fox, how you doing, mate? Evening, mate. Thanks for replying to my Lidl Oktoberfest comment before 9 a.m. this morning. I know, I was laying in bed. I saw my wife off, and I saw my wife and daughter off on their holidays, and I thought I'd just reply to some YouTube comments because I just had a real easy start to the day. Thought I would let you know. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in tonight, mate. I really appreciate it. Mersey Business, 7 years in Preston. Chain House Tap Room is there. Chain House are like a baby Rivington. They also can their beers in Rivington. Not heard of Chain House down here. Neil Long says you need to try Clitheroe too. Top bars and pubs. See, Clitheroe. Where's that? Is that Yorkshire? I feel like it's Yorkshire, but I've never been to Leeds. I've never been to Leeds. I'm meant to be a beer fan. I've never been to Leeds. It's ridiculous. I certainly wouldn't have been to Clitheroe. Top bars and pubs. The Bowland Brewery has about 60 draft beers on tap. Incredible. A mixture of cask and keg, a converted watermill, beautiful historical building. Loads of decent beer and 60 beers in a beautiful old building, mate. I should be all over that, shouldn't I? But yeah, incredible. Scotch Bosses Bowland has one of the biggest bars in England. Yeah, that's a size 60. Yeah, if you've got 60 beers serving, you better have a big bar to accommodate it. Blue Fox says Skyscanner's brilliant. Same thing with me. Wanted to go to Belfast, but flights near me are expensive. That's the same. Like, what am I going to do? Like, pay 3 times as much to go to Edinburgh, where it's almost certainly going to rain solid for 4 days, or go and fly to Barcelona? Like, what are you going to do? Do you know what I mean? What are you going to do? Joey's in. Yo, how you doing, Joey? Good to see you, my man. I hope you're well over there. Yeah, you're far enough away from that cyclone, aren't you? That's coming up through Florida. But yeah, not there to watch it. I think there's a couple that do. I hope you're okay. I don't know where it's at. If it's past, I don't know. But I need to just want to sort of just hope you're all right. Clifton Row is north of Blackburn, proper countryside. Yeah, that's my kind of vibe. That, and there would be loads of campsites around there as well. Would have been, yeah, there'd just be loads. Neil Long says Clifton Road's not far from Blackburn. Yeah, need to sort this, don't I? Right, next beer. Did I load the fridge up? I did load the fridge up. I probably need to drink some of this other stuff first. Okay, this will do. We've got a signature brew, Roadie, an all-night IPA at 4.3%. These beers were given to me by the guys at Tappin, who are like a beer industry. They're kind of Tappin are quite good for breweries like Lord's Brewing Company and other sort of small to medium-sized breweries that don't have the distribution network. So Tappin, basically, you can pallet all your beer down. Tappin's really to access London. So for John, for instance, John signed up with Tappin. He, instead of sending out individual casks and kegs to Tappin and whatever else, instead of sending individual casks and kegs down to London, which would basically price John out the market because obviously it's an expensive thing to do, you can pallet a load of beer down to Tappin. They store it for you for like 24p a litre or something, and they'll distribute it for you in that price as well. So yeah, basically, my neighbour who lives like that way, he works for them, and he was like, mate, I'll get you in the magazine if you want. I think it'd be really good to get you in the magazine, do like a beer taste, because it's like a sales magazine, the Tappin magazine. It goes out to a load of pubs and things like that. And he was like, I really want to get sort of a beer tasting sort of page, a beer taster's perspective on the products that we distribute. So I do that once every quarter. Well, I've only done one, but it's not a shaky hand deal. There's no money that changes hands. But the verbal deal is we do one every quarter, which is pretty cool. Don't know if I've already discussed, but where's the beer monster gone? Mate, it's downstairs. I actually gave it when my brother was up. He's a lager drinker, and there's a brewery near me called Grain. They are fantastic. They're really, really good. And I think they've now got their sales platform sorted. So if you search Grain Brewery Norfolk, they'll come up, and they do a fantastic Pilsner. And it's literally just called Grain Pilsner. And I took, because we had it wasn't like a party as such, but last Friday we had a couple of beers and I just took the beer machine down, went and got a keg from Grain and lobbed it in. So it's just downstairs I just cleaned it this afternoon, because they do get pretty mank, those beer monsters. I will say that. They do get pretty rank pretty quickly. So I just gave it a good, like, disinfectant, got all the sprays and gubbins out that my wife's got in the cupboard, and just gave it a good clean down. So it's just on the draining board there. Scotch Passage. I went to school in Clitheroe and grew up there. Best pub in Blackburn is the Drummer's Arms opposite the town hall. It has 6 hand pumps, all from microbreweries around the UK. That's cool. A dedicated pub like that in the middle of a town just for microbreweries. Respect. That's cool. From trad to craft. Yeah, that's really cool. Really, I love a micro pub. The best one near me, and there's 2. So I've got the Malt and Mardle, which is in Norwich. They're very good. They have just bought another pub actually in Aylsham, which is kind of north of Norwich. They're very good. The Malt and Mardle, and there's another one called the Hop Inn in North Walsham. two fantastic micropubs, very different. North Walsham one's very sort of oak beamy, husband and wife run it sort of vibe, whereas the Morton Mardle's a bit more like city because it has to be, I suppose. It's Norwich, but a bit more city, bit more sort of micro craft beer bar, if you know what I mean. But still very cool all the same, doing beer from all around the UK. Got some good stuff in at the moment. I think they've got some Chapter Brewing stuff in at the moment. Chapter, I believe they're from Manchester. But yeah, got some very good Chapter stuff in at the moment. Sean James had one of the best lagers in Preston, Coltenberg on draft back in the day. Not one I've had. Is that one of the old? Is that one like the old style German? You know, like back when Grolsch was Grolsch. Do you know what I mean? Is that kind of like one of those old style German ones? Neil Long says Clitheroe right on the Ribble Valley. Loads of camping areas. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it, aren't I? There's just so many places. Well, we've got so many places to see. I mean, we're going literally. I'm going to be filming a couple of videos actually with Vibrant Forest and Unity. But we're going down to the New Forest in a few weeks' time. And it's just like we always get drawn back there because my granddad was born in Brockenhurst, which is like the heart of the New Forest. If anyone knows the New Forest, Brockenhurst is this like beautiful village right in the heart of the forest. Literally wild horses walking up and down the high street. Literally, it's mental. We always just get drawn back there because they're buried down there, and we kind of pay our visits every sort of year, every summer. So yeah, trying to get to other places. We know we're going to do a big French trip or a big foreign trip 2 weeks every year. We know we're going to be doing a week in the New Forest every year, on top of like probably a week skiing as well. There's not a whole lot of time to visit other places, but we do need to do it. We've got the camper van now, so there's no excuses. Scotch Pie says my first Berliner Weiss. Yeah, I love a Berliner Weiss. Was in Clitheroe at a craft beer bar there. Great place. I do like a Berliner Weiss. Although I wasn't a fan of that Neon Raptor. It was called Vanilla Berliner Weiss, I think it was called, or the cherry one they did, cherry and white chocolate. Yeah, Tom and I went to Nottingham with Tom the Crummy Beard. He showed me around. I filmed a video. If you want to go back and see it, if you want to see the video, it's on there. What was it called? Craft Beer Hunting in Nottingham. It was called, and probably some of the worst beer I had all day was in Neon Raptor, which is mental because I was a massive fan of Neon Raptor a couple of years ago. Night Drive Radio. I don't like session IPAs, but Night Drive Radio, they've done a session IPA called Night Drive Radio, 4.7%. It was one of the best beers I've ever had in terms of like quality of the style, and to taste where they've kind of gone now. They're kind of like a kind of Vault City in it, if you know what I mean. Bit novelty. Craig says, Merseybeard Adam, have you had any Priest Town? Had some over the weekend, really good. Must be a Liverpool brewery. Joey said, how many hours a week does a place have to be open for it to be considered a micropub? Mate, it's not the hours it's open, it's the size. So, Joey, I'll tell you what, Google, if you've got time, Google the Hop In North Walsham. It is literally a room. I'm in like one of our spare bedrooms is like a double-sized spare bedroom. It's only a little bit bigger than this. There is a floor above, but it's like a tiny little shop. It would have been like an old sweet shop or something. Really, really cool little spot. That's a micro pub. The Morton Mardle's a bit bigger in Norwich. That's in Norwich. But yeah, Google the Hop In North Walsham. WALSHAM. That's probably one of my favourite proper like British, quintessentially British micropubs. Really, really good. Craig H. Chapter from just outside Liverpool. Thank you very much for that, mate. Matt, how you doing, Matt? Get yourself to Hastings. Quality beers down there. I will sort you out, Mark. I know Matt. He's a personal friend of mine. Hello. I used to live not far from Hastings, as Matt knows, but well before. I mean, I moved away 2017. I moved away. That was before. I was always like kind of into my beers, but never really like into my beers. Do you know what I mean? So I never done the beer scene in Hastings. But I know there's some amazing breweries just further west of Hastings. But yeah, probably got to do it really. And Hastings is like one of those like up and coming seaside towns. So I'd imagine like, yeah, craft beers going down a storm down there. Vanilla Weiss, that's what it was called. Priesttown are from Preston. Joey says, bro, my garage is bigger than that. Yeah, I know, it's tiny, isn't it? It is proper micro pub, proper micro pub. Craig says, the point of a micro pub is they occupy small retail units, which is a good use of space. Absolutely. Absolutely. And to be honest, I know why there aren't more of them, because we looked, it was one of the original ideas before the horse box. We were going to open a micro pub, me and my friend, or we were looking at opening a micro pub. And the rates, it's not the business rates, it's more like your monthly outgoings, like rent, electric. And you think the amount of time that a micro pub's open and how many people you can get in, there's not a lot of opportunity to like earn money. I'm not saying that to be greedy, but in the summer months, there's not a lot of opportunity to earn the money needed to sustain the quieter winters. And in the end, we just said, sod it, we should just do a horse box. Instead of waiting for people to come into our bar, we just go to people where we know there's going to be 100 people drinking. We'll go to venues where there's going to be, 100 people drinking. Man, the Battle of Hastings seems just like yesterday. Yeah, nearly 1,000 years ago, mate. Yeah, Matt would have done it like me. We've done like the whole tour of the battleground and everything. The Philo, Matt says, is that one of the bars in Hastings? Let's try this signature brew. I thought I saw something weird in the glass. Signature brew. What was it called? Anytime All Day IPA or something? Roadie, an all night IPA. Let's give it a go. That's all right. Really, 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 really light. I can see when they say all night IPA. Really, really light. Really, really light. Hops sort of giving me bit of peach, bit of mango, bit of light pineapple, but light, really, really light. Quite heavily carbonated. Decent. Scotch Pices. There used to be a pub in Burnley that only served imported German and Belgian beers. Yes. I don't know if it's still there, but it was great. Never been to Burnley. But there is a place like that in Norwich called the Belgian Monk. Now, when I was last in there, it was Christmas. It was the Christmas just gone. And I had the Delirium Christmas beer on keg. It was insane. But the place, Matt will know. Matt Leonard will know. I presume he's been to the Belgian Monk because Matt lives in the same town as me. What a place! I mean, it is. Don't get me wrong. It is well pricey. It is very, very pricey. You're probably talking for like I don't know, a half pint of Creek cherry beer. You're probably talking a £5 at like 3.8%, maybe even more, £6, which is expensive around here. It's probably not in terms of London, but that's expensive around here. So it's not somewhere I frequent often. There's so many cool little. I need to get to Norwich before the summer's out and do craft beer hunting in Norwich, because there's so many cool little spots. Joey says agreed. Craig H. What was that about? Oh, the point of the micro pub. Joey says we are voting on legalization of you know what in Ohio in November. I can't wait. Yeah, it's going to change the game for you, isn't it? They might drop it from the Schedule 1, which would open it up quite a bit. Is Schedule 1 like we've got like Class A, which is where I don't know where that falls in the UK structure. Matt Lennon says it's a pub that has its own brewery. My favourite kind of pub, the Philo. First in, last out. Is it actually? Because that can be quite dangerous. Craig says I don't partake, Joey, but I do support legalisation. Yeah, horses for courses. Go for it. I'll Schedule 1, your Class A. Fair dues. So yeah, it's all going on. It's all going on. What have I got coming to the channel? What have I got coming to the channel that's really of any note? There's gonna be a few little horsebox videos coming up. Well, like I say, once my mate Dom's back from his holidays and the caravan and everything. There's gonna be a bit of that. There's going to be a craft beer hunting in Norwich that I do need to film. I need to go and film. Talking of micro pubs, does anyone remember the video I did with a company? Well, it was a company. It was a company. It was a craft beer bottle shop in a phone box. 2 secs, John. Craft beer bottle shop in a phone box. It's officially the UK's smallest craft beer shop. He's now got like a license to pour draft beer. Is it draft? It could be just can. Can't remember. But he's now got a license, so you can actually sit there in a beautiful old historic part of Norwich on the pathway, big wide pathway, huge pathway, and drink his beer. So I need to go and visit him. I've got to go and visit Sir Toby's Beers, a friend of mine, Toby, that owns it. Got to go and film with him because he's got a beautiful craft beer bar and bottle shop on the marketplace in Norwich. Yeah, there's a bit coming up. Here he is. Johnny, how are we, good sir?
I'm all right, old sausage. How are you?
Very well, mate. Very well. Just having a couple of beers, chatting to everybody. It's been quite a busy little stream so far.
I'm using the glass that you bought me.
There we go. Where was that? York. There you go. There's the glass. York Beer Festival, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the one.
How's things?
I'm all right, actually. Just lots going on. Just, come back off holiday and then it's total carnage. So,
well, you'd rather it that way than the other way, mate.
Well, it's true.
I think
it's true. Yeah, it's good. There's no negativity. I managed to stop the scammers that were scamming my parents.
Stop the scammers.
Yeah. So for any, I didn't tell anybody this, did I? It's unbeer related. I won't talk about it if you don't want to talk about it, chat. So if you want to know, I'll tell you. If you don't want to know, it doesn't really matter. But I beat them, so it's nice.
Always nice beating them buggers, mate. Always nice. Neil Long says, one local beer that's intriguing to me is the Handyman and Salt Collab. That will be good. Because the Handyman, when we talk about places that have their own brewery, the Handyman's probably one of my, I don't want to say my favourites because it makes it sound like I go there all the time, but it's probably it was the scene of one of my most enjoyable evenings, put it that way.
Nice.
Good place, isn't it, John?
The Handyman.
In Liverpool.
Oh, mate.
Yeah. That place.
Yeah, that place. That place is awesome.
It is good. It is
good.
That
is some serious quality, that place. For a second, I'm thinking, Handyman. I'm trying to buff I'm like, what was it?
Yeah, that was we were fairly greased up by the time we got there. Neil Long says the Handyman Salt Collab we heavy 11%. Every time I go there, I threaten to try it, but it scares me. I'll get you a bottle next time I'm a Handyman. Mate, you absolute legend. I'd love that. Fantastic. Oh, what's going on? Can you hear this? Can you hear these dogs?
Yeah.
Absolutely nightmare. 1 second, I'm just going to shout at them.
That's so funny, isn't it? See, there you go, people.
Sorry to all the lip readers out there. Yeah, the Handyman. What's the story of the Handyman? Neil, correct me if I'm wrong, but it used to be an old hardware store, didn't it?
Yeah, that's as I understood. Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
But it feels like to me, and I don't know if this is part of the history of the building, but it certainly feels like you're in a very square, and it sounds boring, but it really isn't. It's got so much character and atmosphere, this place. But you're in a really square kind of open building with a big front, and it almost feels like you're sitting in an old fire station. Do you get that vibe? Is that fair, John?
Yeah, it's definitely got that vibe.
It has. Big high ceiling, goes quite the way back, but obviously the back is the brewery. But obviously, if it was, I don't know what its history is, but before it was the brewery and bar, it was the old hardware store, and it's still got, like the old bricks, the old sort of crumbly London Reds. Twice, I haven't said the London Red brick thing for God knows how long, but it's got crumbly old London Red bricks that have been painted over, and some of the paint's flaked off, and it's got like 6 layers of paint, and it's only painted up to halfway, and it's like but they've like sealed it, haven't they, John? With like it feels like they've sealed it with like
with some varnish
or varnish. And it's just so cool. It's so cool. Yeah, what a place! Fantastic.
And the beer's great. I mean,
and the beer's good.
It's really good.
Salt have done a few collabs there.
Are they really? They must have some sort of relationship. Does my microphone sound all right?
Perfect.
Good. I'm sporting the Fifine gaming headset tonight because my laptop was already out, so I only need to grab the webcam and shove it on a tripod. So I've done that. But today, you know how much I like my RGB?
Oh, God.
I bought another one. So the problem is, this one is only for PC and it won't run on my Xbox. And I've had a really cheap headset that I paid like 10 quid for pre-lockdown. And it still sounds great. There's nothing wrong with it apart from, for some reason, the microphone has decided to constantly transmit all the time. So when you're gaming, it just annoys the life out of all my mates because it's constantly going.
Yeah.
So I went shopping, and these were on special, and they're the same. I think it wouldn't surprise me if they came out the same factory, but it's got the same detachable microphone and everything. So I thought at least if the mic goes wrong on this, I might be able to get another. And failing that, I can just use them as a set of plug-in headphones. So
easy enough, mate. Easy enough. Matt Leonard said. So Matt Leonard. So John, just to bring up to date, Matt Leonard is one of my friends from the town I live in. He's originally from Hastings, which wouldn't have been a million miles from you back in the day.
Yeah, I know, Matt. I know, Matt. Yeah. Hi, Matt. How you doing? We used to go. Yeah, we went to school at Lewis together. Lewis Old Priory.
My God. But yeah, Matt was talking about a pub called the Philo, the first in, last out brew pub in Hastings. And I want to know if it is actually that or whether they call last orders. Dave Wilson says, hi, John.
Hello, Mr. Wilson. How are you, sir? Are you doing all right?
Joey says he saw the scammers coming from 5 kilometres away with them sweet new giant glasses.
Yeah, they did. I just want to look like Crummy. That's all it is.
He is one stylish young chicken. Is our Crummy. Should be in tonight, but he's going to be on probably now. Any time from now, I think he said. David says, Neil, I'll give it a go, mate. Sounds great in reference to the wee heavy. I could honestly say if I was like probably couldn't speak by this point. But I do remember drinking some decent beer in the handyman. So if the handyman had got anything to do with it, it's probably going to be quite good.
I've never left somewhere with a headache from laughing.
Oh my God. It was just...
I have not laughed.
A funny week. I say a funny weekend, but it wasn't even the weekend, was it? It was like Thursday.
It was amazing. And then we went out for St. Paddy's, didn't we? Oh my gosh.
God. Went to the Grove, didn't we, in Huddersfield?
Yeah, it was a great night. And then we ate pizza, and then you were sick, and I had bad stomach, and Paul was dying. It wasn't the beer. It wasn't the beer.
No, it definitely wasn't the beer. It's the pizza. Joey says those dogs probably sent some knocking on a door 6 houses away. You know what? Yes, they're just a nightmare. They're an absolute nightmare. And talking of Crummy, it's almost like the genie. If you rub the lamp, he does turn up. There you go.
I love it. Hello.
I'm here to grant some wishes. What's going on?
John's got 3 and I've got 3, and you've got to do anything we ask you.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't aware that was part of the deal, but what can I do you for?
My first wish is I want you to... No, right, we're not going to go there. It's a Thursday.
Okay.
How are you, Tom?
I didn't get my wish.
I dread to think what one of your wishes is.
So what I'd like you to do, Crummy, is just cover yourself in oil and then just roll around in your furry love dungeon.
Okay. Well, that will be available exclusively on my OnlyCans. It's fine.
For people that don't know, Tom, when you go to the top floor of Tom's house, there is a room that does look like a love dungeon.
But it's not.
I don't know. It'd be a very uncomfortable love dungeon.
It's just the bars on the door. And I'm not even joking. I'm not going to go into them anymore because it's Tom's private life, but...
We'll leave it there.
That's only on the left wing of that house, though.
like Tom said, it's on his Only Cans, and yes, it's the Only Cans Castle is his app username. Kev says, taking a quick peek to see what's going on here. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hope everyone's doing well. And Kev, I hope you're doing well after the blooming cyclone or the hurricane that ripped through the western.
Was it?
The Western America. There was a cyclone, wasn't there, that came up from Mexico?
I thought that was Florida. Was it
No,
not?
there was one in California a little while ago.
Oh,
ago,
yes,
isn't
there
it?
was, of course. Sorry, there's been both sides have been hit. Yes.
Yeah, then there's oh my god, can you hear these dogs again? Absolute plums. Absolute nightmare. Take me totally off my flow. I've been in a really good flow this evening. David says hi, Kevin. Joey says hey, Kev. Neil Long said it was an old hardware store. The old owner made handmade wooden rocking horses.
Oh,
There we go. That's cool.
What's this in reference to?
The Handyman Brewery and Bar in Liverpool.
Yeah, very nice.
it's very nice.
Yes. Lovely spot. Neil Long says, love to see you, John. Hope you had a good love to see you, John. I hope you had a great Scottish holiday. I love Scotland. You might as well say that to John and Tom because they're both recently in Scotland.
I loved it. I just want to be more and more like Cromie, though.
You're getting there with the glasses. You're not far off now.
I just
It was mentioned earlier.
I just need two dogs and 3 dogs, and I've sorted it.
I'm digging your little space you're in right there. I know it's your kitchen, but that's the first shot I can recall ever seeing on YouTube where I can see the front and the back of someone's head at the same time.
I know. This is my shiny bald head. Well, I did it the other way round, and it meant that I would have had to unload the dishwasher and load up all the other stuff. So I thought I can't be bothered to do that.
Fair.
And then I had it square on here, but it's a new build, and I've got a beautiful light fitting that literally is a bulb in a holder. And I thought, and it's not very interesting. So then I thought, well, I'll scoot everything at an angle, and then you've got a little plant, you've got the mirror, you can see it's a bit more to it. That's all, and you can see the back and the front of my head, which is always a plus.
It looks very, it looks purpose built and not like you're in your kitchen. I'm digging it.
Yeah, well, I'll take that.
I reckon it's probably a couple of RGB strips away from being a permanent setup.
Well, talking of permanent setups, I've got a shed coming.
Ooh!
I'm very excited.
Shed time. When's it arriving?
I don't know.
Okay.
I emailed her today and said,
"Where's my shed?
I'm back off holiday. I've got through all the dross this week. Would you like to send me my shed, please?" Very excited.
Thank you, please. Very nice. Very nice.
So I've got to do the foundation this weekend, all being well.
Oh, there must be a joke in there. I don't know any foundation songs, but there's got to be a joke in there somewhere.
It's got to be.
True.
There's got to be. So I spoke to a company today that does all sorts of bases for sheds. And the guy said to me, "Oh, you know what would be even better than a shed base?" Because I said I'm doing it on YouTube.
A 7-bedroom house.
Yeah, it would be, yeah. Like Crummies. But basically, it's a castle with that big lake with them swans on is lovely. That Canadian goose got really close though, freaked me out. But he said, "Oh, I tell you what, I have got." He said, "I've got some military grade flooring that basically you put your substrate down and you put like a membrane down, and then you put this military grade like clip together floor." And he said, and then you shim up your shed to where you want it level, but it'll never ever be in contact with the soil. And he said it'll last forever.
That's
and he
good for damp, because sheds always rot.
And he said, "I've got loads of it." So I was like, okay. So it sounds, I'm hoping that is the route that I go down.
Is it good because it's good, or is it good because he's got loads of it and he wants to sell it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what you do need,
I think
mate.
it's-
How much we got of that, Sharon? Loads. Right, you need this.
So basically, what it is, it's like when you go to Goodwood Festival of Speed and stuff, and they make a road for cars out
It's
of
that
like
plastic stuff, isn't it?
like a grid. So it's for that, but it's a bit more industrial because it's made for running trucks and tanks over.
Has anyone got any visions of the Royal Engineers turning up in John's garden about 200 strong to lay the shed base?
Hey, man, I would not say no.
Honestly, John's gonna hear this. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Turn up, and the next thing you know, he's got the engineers.
That'd be amazing. So yeah, I'm very excited, and then hopefully, I can get all of my studio stuff moved into the shed, and it can be
nice
shed/workshop.
Right, I've got a satisfying sound for you. Ready?
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, boy.
Good sound.
Right, I'll catch up with some comments whilst distilled, brewed, and reviewed. How are you doing, good sir? Here for a virtual beer. Thank you very much, mate. I hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in
Cheers,
a long
buddy.
time.
Cheers.
I hope you are well. Neil Long had a handyman raspberry vice beer on cast last week. It was beautiful. They also do a lot of stuff with Runaway Brewery. Must have a relationship with them too. Yeah, they're good brewery, are they? A good brewery they are, old handyman. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to get that. Dave wants to hi, Tom.
Just waving back.
Joey says that hurricane hit California, filled up a lot of reservoirs. It was well needed in some areas. Yeah, but the problem is this week it's about 45 degrees. It's all evaporating again. David Wilson says, have they filled the reservoirs in California with those black rubber ball things? Have you seen those? They stop evaporation, don't they?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
David Wilson says, doing fine, thanks, John. How's you and the family?
I'm doing outstanding. The family are amazing. We're just trying to get the boys to start going back to bed earlier because they've got school on Monday.
Next week, isn't it?
Yeah. And Casey's doing really well. So Casey and Lydia volunteer at something called the Uniform Exchange, which our friend runs. And what it does is when your kids have got uniform that they may have grown out of and it's not worn out, you give it to them, and then what they do is they sort it all out and they clean everything and do all the bits. And then if your family, you might be struggling, you can't get everything for the uniform, they give it to you for free.
That's
so
cool. Fair
school
play.
shoe, and then also they raise money and they buy brand new school shoes, brand new, everything. And any family is allowed to go and buy those things, and basically it's all very, very cheap. And yeah, it's a great charity, and it's good for families. So that's where Casey and Lydia are at the moment. They're packing and sorting and washing and all sorts of stuff. So yeah,
there we go. Fair play to them for doing that, mate. That's really, really good.
It's good.
Blue Fox says, "What blue monkey are you on tonight, Tom?" Ha ha.
None yet. One of my other hype breweries at the minute. Since I've got an entire.
I knew it was that when you poured it.
I've got an entire fridge full of Scottish beer after my last trip. Will there be any Blue Monkey tonight? I mean, I can never say never. It's very common, but don't know yet. We'll see.
That Snow Goose Lager. I know when you. What was it you said to me, Tom? When before I had it, you said.
I said, just don't expect a lager.
Yeah,
it's an entity unto itself a little bit.
It really is. It's the most. I said it was like really heathery and kind of like peated water, heathery. You can almost taste the mountains in the water, can't you?
Yeah. So interestingly, they've dialed it back a little bit.
I don't think that's a good idea. But then again, I'm not the normal drinker.
Well,
if they
this
want
is
to
the
sell me
problem.
in their bars,
I agree. I've got this one's one of the newer dialed back ones. I've still got some bottles of the previous one. I'll probably do them side by side at some point. But I can understand why, because if you're trying to sell to a mass tourism market, which is effectively the market that's there,
Yep.
maybe it needs. It's still fantastic. Don't get me wrong. It's just not as indulgently different as it was before. It's still got all the traits, just less of the, like. It's just playing less of a part now.
Yeah, it's annoying because for that, tourism beers need to be kind of. It sounds awful to say this, but middle of the road in terms of flavor profile.
There needs to be a process.
That lager was not middle of the road before. That was like, we're from Scotland. This is the Scottish water, and if you don't like it, you can bugger off. It was kind of that. It was honestly, wasn't it, Tom? It was apologetically Scottish.
Oh, absolutely. And interestingly, the first few sips of this, I was like, yeah, they've definitely dialed it back. I'm a bit like, I wish I had the other one. And then that last sip, I've just got it again massively. So it's like it's still in there.
Good.
Yeah.
So, Tom, when I went to Scotland, this particular place, I went to the Drimsney estate. Drimsney. Hey, Drimsney. I'm trying to put an accent to it. Sounds
was that Scottish, was it, John?
It was, yeah. It's where Borat goes to
Scotland, yeah.
But basically, they're quite good at being like semi off grid, and like all the water was heated with biomass, and all the water that they bring in, they filter and clean themselves, and the water. So if you looked in the toilet, it looks like somebody's peed in it. It's got a tinge of like brown to it, and they were like, it's perfectly safe. It's just because it's filtered through the mountains and through the peat. Yeah. And it tasted fantastic. You make any drink with it, it's like, oh yeah, this is, and it was really soft and it was just good. They'd taken some of the minerals. It was really good. They'd taken some of the mineralness out of it because it was quite. Yeah. If they didn't, that's the main thing that they filter out of it. But oh gosh, it was like every time you open the tap, you were getting like proper Scottish experience. And I had smoked haddock. Sorry.
I had smoked haddock. Oh, how was it?
Oh my! Oh, that is. I get more excited about having smoked battered haddock at a fish and chip shop than I do about having a great beer. It was.
That does sound fantastic. I've never had the pleasure. I've had smoked salmon from one of the little kind of boutique smokehouses up there. It is farm salmon, but like you can see the farm and the smokehouse in the same. You can stand on this bit of road and you can see, the whole chain of sale in one picture. And that was unbelievable. So I imagine, smoked battered haddock must be insane.
Oh, it's just amazing.
David Wilson with something that Blue Fox messaged me about this morning. Lidl have a 10-pack of German beer next week, 25 quid, but listed as 500 millilitres each. Do you know one of the beers that's in there is the Hofbrau Oktoberfest beer?
Is he really?
Yes. And there's...
Oh, yes.
It's 10 different beers. And a couple of them, it's not from like, see this bottle here, it's like a random German brewery that Beers of Europe stocked.
Yeah.
It'll be lots of amazing. Actually, I don't know how they're going to get around the old copyright thing with that. Boxing beers up saying they're Oktoberfest. Because you're not allowed to say that unless you're one of the big six. So
in Germany or not, I'm not sure how that law would translate externally.
It's same over here. That's why they do. That's why you'll see festival beer, fest beer. It's almost like one of them Cornish pasty, geographically protected things.
Okay.
So to brew an Oktoberfest beer, you must pull the beer from the well in Munich, or the Munich water supply that comes from a big well or an aquifer in Munich.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh,
so there's 10 different German beers.
Not the Augustina though.
No, the Augustina's not in there because originally Blue Fox did say the Augustina. I'm sure he said Augustina.
Who's the Blue Fox? What does the Fox say?
Blue Fox 111. He's one of the guys in the chat.
Sorry, I did say that.
The Schneiderweiss Fest beer is in there as well, and that was actually quite good last time.
Okay.
But yeah,
Interesting. I've got a lot of
Pretty
German
good.
beer at the minute, but you never know.
tell me about it. I've literally got this box.
Good lad. Good
There's
lad.
lots more in the fridge. That was the box I got the day the Ford Focus decided to nuke itself.
What's happened with that?
Oh, it's probably it's anywhere from 450 to £1,000. Tried to take it to Ford. Didn't take it to Ford in the end. Had issues with the trailer, but I think that was a good thing anyway because they wanted 150 quid just to diagnose it, and then it wasn't even guaranteed that we'd get them to fix it for free anyway. So we've just said, sod it, let's just bite the bullet. We got the car cheap enough anyway. So hey ho. A nice segue onto this this question. Joey says, Mark, why do you have a 12-car garage when you only got 6 cars? I have space. I've got a one and a half car garage, and I do have 6 cars, so it's a bit of a mission around here.
Have you got 6 now?
But only, yeah. So I've got the Ford Escort, I've got the Westfield,
Yeah.
I've got my wife's car, my camper, my work van, and I also sort of semi-share a car with a friend.
You mean your girlfriend?
No. So my mate's got a Ford Focus 1.5D or 1.7 diesel that we share because it's part of the deal that we've got with the horse box. Even though the horse box isn't up and running yet, but that's part of the deal.
Is that what you're towing it with?
No. So he's about to get a 2-litre VW Passat, and then I'm gonna use my normal electrical van to get the beer there. So there's gonna be no weight in the horse box.
Right.
I'm with you.
When you said you share a car, I got really excited. Then you said it was a 1.7 diesel, and I thought,
yeah,
okay,
Focus.
So
Mark Jones says, "Don't let John do the bass. It will definitely be on the wonk." Yeah, can you imagine it? Be in Yorkshire, be like that. Dave says, "Hi, Mark Jones." Joey says, "I will be pretty suspect with military grade. Haha, that stuff will fall apart."
yeah.
No, that's the American. Anything American has got a reputation over here for falling apart fast.
Well, see, I think the cars.
All right, honorary American. What have you got to say about it?
I'm saying American tools. American tools are really good.
you can't call them all tools, John.
No, well, no.
Moving swiftly on, Mark says, "Hey up, is Cy-V? Mark Jones, how have the beers been this evening, good sir?"
He says, "I'll see thee. He's leaving. It's Yorkshire."
Yeah,
Street.
he's off.
What? Oh, bye, Mark Jones. Even that was the thing. Sorry, mate. How have the beers been for me? Very good. Joey says, our school has the same thing for the kiddos. My daughter started high school. My son went back 2 days ago. It's the time of year. Good stuff, John. You're an honourable man.
It's not me doing it, it's them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I'm sat here drinking beer.
Let's take the credit.
No.
Joey says Scotland and Wales have like not many people at all compared to proper England. No, there's 67 million legitimate people in the UK. Probably a few more on top of that. And I reckon a good 50 million to 55 million are in England.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, isn't it like 25 million in London alone or something? It's mental. Matt Hall, how you doing, mate? Hey, you guys. Just got in from the big shop. I hope there was some beer on that big shop, Matt, because it's got to be worth your while going.
Hello, my social media guy. Thank you. Love you.
Dave Wilson says, hi, Matt Hall. Blue Foxes. Who's the Blue Fox?
Do you know what it was? When you were saying Blue Fox, I thought, I wonder if that's the buyer from Lidl on Instagram or something like that. Because you were like, the Blue Fox. I'm thinking, the Blue Fox? Who the bloody hell's the Blue Fox?
I mean, he did give me early warnings about the Lidl release. So you never know who Blue Fox might be behind the username. David Wilson says, hi, Blue Fox. Will we be getting a box? Love that, David. Nice little bit of rhyming thing on the first evening. I'm hoping to. Matt Hall says, hi, David. And Matt Hall says, can't believe Mark has more cars on the motorhead that is John.
What have I got? I've got Citroen C4 VTS. I have to put that in, otherwise it just sounds like a normal family car. Do you know what I did tonight? Don't tell Lydia. Hopefully she's not watching. I took the boys to the bridge near where there's a bridge down the road that goes over the motorway. because they were asking about burnouts. So I showed that I
They're called skid marks, John.
Yeah, so I showed them how to do a proper one. So I turned the traction control off. I rolled backwards, and then got it in first as you're going backwards. Full chat, drop the clutch, handbrake on, slow burnout right across the motorway bridge. And it was all coming in the vents. You couldn't see anything. Windows down. The kids are coughing, laughing their heads off. It was awesome.
Were you wearing your Avirex cap, your matching Nike jogging bottoms and top, and Nike TNs at this point?
No, I had my camo tactical Crocs on, and
to be fair, that's about as sensible a choice as the car is. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah, it is. You can't. Can you imagine?
Hey, Rate My Beer. How you doing, Paul and Michelle? Hope you're well.
Look at
tactical Crocs.
When it's hot, you want to be comfortable, and a war breaks out. They are perfect,
and no one can see your feet when you wear them.
Ironically, isn't that Arctic camo?
Might be.
Perfect for Yorkshire.
It's urban. It's Yorkshire.
Your feet are going to be a bit chilly, mate. I think.
Why would I? I've got a pair of lime green ones as well. So it's whether you want to be. I can wear one and the other, and it's like, John, do you want to be seen, or don't you?
Jesus Christ. Paul, Rate My Beer. Evening, lads. Good to catch up with you. Hope you're all good. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing really well, mate. That Hackney Church Helles Lager was a flipping joke.
He's not stopped talking about this for days. Can someone stop?
I know. Honestly, if I've obviously, I don't know, Paul gets his. I know Paul likes his German stuff as well. All these random German beers that I've had from like breweries like Keeler and like breweries that I've never heard before. I've drunk a lot of different beers, naturally, out of Beers of Europe. And that Helles Lager from Hackney Church, I'm not kidding, is better than some of the German Helles stuff that Beers of Europe stock. It's good.
Okay.
Really I've got a feeling that Hackney Church have the same brew kit or similar to the one at Elvington. The guys at York, Elvington Brewery. When you're next up here, I need to take you for a pint of that. You will have your mind blown. You cannot believe that that's been made in Yorkshire.
Honestly, it's if it is from the same kit, mate. This beer, so normally when you do beer reviews, and Tom, I don't know if Tom and John, you don't do beer reviews, obviously, but Tom, I don't know if you're the same. I'll often drink half the can in general, maybe a little bit more than half, depending.
Yeah, it depends a bit on the beer. If it's really difficult to read, I'll end up drinking more of it because you just have to keep going back to try and pick stuff out. Or if it's just too tasty, it'll go. But otherwise, yeah.
This was like one of the moments where it was too tasty to pour away. So I took it downstairs and I edited that very video and got it out the same day. And I was shutting my eyes, and I was genuinely thinking, this could be a German beer. And it's like the best praise you can give to.
Oh, yeah.
Not that they care about my praise. I'm not saying that. But it's just the best compliment you can really give to a beer that's, trying to be something. It's really, really good.
Well, if you can nail the style like that, I mean, and it's funny because I was having this conversation with somebody on holiday. We went to Fine Ales in wherever it is, Fine. And
they're a lot of fine.
Fine, yeah. And I tried their lager, and very much, what you're saying about that Scottish lager's got. It definitely doesn't taste like any other lager I've ever had. It's got a very distinct flavour. It's very. I would have said that was quite a approachable beer, but you could tell it had, some Scottish elements. There's no way that could have been a German beer. But what we were saying in there, we were chatting, and I said, I think if you want to know whether a brewery's got their processes right, try their lager or their Pilsner or their Hells, because you can't hide anything. There's very little in the way of ingredients, and it's all about the process and how you store it, and your cleaning. And if you're not doing those things right, then you can't. There's nowhere to go with it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it's a really good gauge for a quality brewery or not.
You've heard it from a man that owns a brewery. There you go.
Mm.
But no, I do absolutely agree. I do agree. Some of the I agree with that. If they could do a good lager, they do good beer.
Yeah,
That's
it's true.
kind of my, to put it simply, I suppose.
I'm going to get some more beer.
Do it. Paul says, hello, David, mate. Blue Fox says, that David Wilson, definitely get in a box. Sometimes they put them on the shelves on the Wednesday evenings, so it might be worth a look then. Yeah, they do. They are quite good for that little. Joey says, Mark has sent you a funny 1.5 second clip of John from this exact stream. I will get that in a minute. David Wilson says, I Blue Fox, that's my plan. Via Instagram, thank you, mate. Paul says, all good this season, thanks, mate. And he says, we're going to Lithuania next week to support them at a beer festival. That's incredible. That hell is pure class. Two things to address here. Lithuania, what a country. I hope you're going to... You've got Canals, haven't you? But you've also got Vilnius. I went to Vilnius at the end of November, and it was one of the best cities I've ever been to. It was incredible. What a place. Thought actually, weirdly, I thought it actually nearly gave me a heart attack, but it was, that's another story. Did go quite hard in Vilnius. There's right. If you go to Vilnius, Paul, if you're still in the chat, there's a bar, like a nightclub, that's in a prison, and it's in the new city. And this prison shut 2 years ago. It's like Alcatraz. You walk in, and there's just these like festoon lights, high level, and you walk into what probably would have been one of the atriums where all like the different wings are off of it, and the bar and club is in there serving craft beer, and you go for a wee in the old prison cells. Incredible place. Genuinely, Lithuania was like amazing.
That's different.
Yeah, the old town was just beautiful. Blue Fox's Elvington Pils is insane, John. I had it at the Sheffield Tap. I think it's the best British brewed lager. Oh.
I mean, I like to think my lager is a very good lager,
but he does.
That is just.
He does go on to reference two rather good British lager producers, even better than Greybrooks and Utopian.
Easily, honestly, you've got to come and try it. Your mind will be blown. It is incredibly good, to the point where I said, I'd love to have one of these taps, and I'd sell that in my bar. Honestly, it's that good. You just cannot believe it's a Yorkshire product. Admittedly, all the grain is imported from Germany.
Is this the one that's got the £1 million brew kit?
Yeah.
Yeah, your video, yeah.
And the yeast is from... you might have to rewatch my video. I want to say it's from Staropramen, but it might be... And it's another big German concern. And he was saying to me, if you want some yeast, because it's all live, we'll give you some so you can make your own version of it. So we've also found in other beer news, we've found a company called Jasper Yeast, and you can order Sierra Nevada yeast.
You simply have to do it.
I've got to do it, haven't I? Yeah, I've got to do that. Definitely. It's a little bit of money for setup, because you have to get a container and stuff that they do to make sure you can keep it alive. Yeah, but actually compared to other programs to do it, it's very cost effective. And to actually it works out once you've bought the kit, it's quite a bit cheaper than buying individual bags of yeast in to do certain styles.
And
so
that yeast would serve a good amount of different beers as well. It's not like you've got one yeast project for one beer.
Yeah, you could use it in a whole bunch of stuff. But it's really funny because if you speak to our brewers, the yeasts and where they're from and the character and whatever, Mike and Steve, you speak to them, they're like, oh yeah, that was so lazy. That's like proper lazy. That one just eats everything and it does this and it makes that slight flavour. And they've all got... Yeah. But it's amazing. It's got so many different characteristics.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. So that and your water quality are like two of the most major things. The only other thing I would say is British malt tends to be a little bit nitrogen heavy for the style, and that's probably, I guess, why they import the grain from Germany.
There we go. Lost me a nitrogen heavy, if I'm honest. I wouldn't know what's caused that. I guess the yeast might cause that. No,
it'd be soil.
No, the actual.
There we go.
It's
you mean
grain.
See the
right?
soil. See the soil or fertilizer.
The ironic bit is, back in the day,
I'm not clever. I leave it to the clever guys.
No. Back in the day, we would how the purity law came about and all that. It ended up with a lot of grain came from Britain to go and make the beers in Europe.
There you go.
Most people don't know that. That's true. Facts, spitting facts.
Joey says lager. I hardly know her. Oh God. Il Corvo, how you doing? Been a while. Is that a new bar runner, Crumb?
It is. I picked this up in Scotland on my last trip. It is a Martin
2 secs
bar runner. And John, I think we've had a conversation about these before. It's one of the thick rubber ones.
Very nice.
And I said I wanted one for a while, and you were like, "Oh, they're dead expensive to make." Yeah. So I think, like, if you order, I don't know how many. I think you were saying there was still kind of 25 quid.
Mental
at cost price. They were selling these. It was either 12 or 14 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, yes, please. Thank you.
Can you drop an email and find out where they're getting made?
Yeah. The quality is there. It's very nice. It is very nice.
You're on mute, Mark, you sexy beast.
How much was that, mate? Sorry?
It was either 12 or 14.
John probably buys them in for that.
Way more than that. They cost a fortune, those things.
Dave Wilson says, hi, Il Corvo. Rate My Beer says, Canals. We're going. Don't think it's far, though, from Vilnius. Yeah, Lithuania is not the biggest country. And did you know it's actually, useless fact, the flattest country in Europe?
Is it really?
It is.
Do you know, weirdly, when I hear Lithuania, I think of some mountainous range.
It's genuinely one of the most interesting countries I've ever been to. They've got an old capital city called Trakai, and there's a castle. It's the old royal castle that you have to cross a big long bridge to. It's £1.20 a beer. We shot MP5s and drove tanks there. It was just incredible, and it cost about 26 quid to do the whole weekend. It was unbelievable.
Maybe I'm Lithuanian.
Honestly, amazing. And the airport at Vilnius is like a train station. You get out, it's the size of a train station. It's mental. Il Corvo says, evening, David. Paul says, sounds mad. Yeah, honestly, it's a fantastic country. Blue Fox says, he 100% agrees, John. He had 5 pints of it, and he could have kept going. It was so nice.
It's bloody amazing.
Me
and Blue Fox. Spitting facts. Cheers, Blue Fox. Thanks for backing me up. Because everybody else, they're like, really? I'm like, no, it's bloody amazing. You've got to try it.
Is it?
Like, honestly, incredible.
Dave Wolf says, John, you need to get Rob, Bramwell Backroom Brewery, in to use that yeast. Tried his Sierra Nevada Pale Ale clone. It was awesome. I think I've never had any of Rob's homebrew stuff, but I've heard good things about it.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, really good.
Really,
Rob knows what he's doing.
He's got skills.
He's got the brewing skills, and I've got the drinking skills.
That's true.
We're a match made in heaven.
That's it.
Well, I don't have skills, actually. I'm a bit of a lightweight when it actually comes to it, but hey-ho, less said about that, the better.
Dossing.
Dossing.
I love that, honestly.
Joey says, back in the day, Huddersfield didn't even have soil. It was just crushed up sand.
Well, I found out today. So I was working from home today, and a friend of ours who's called Maeve, we lovingly call her Maeve the Rave, Mavis, who's in her 80s, wanted to come round and see our new house. So Lids went with the kids, went and picked her up and brought her back. bless her, she's too old to get up the stairs to see the top 2 floors. But
Hey, the last place Mavis needs to go is up them stairs, John. Don't do it.
exactly, so we didn't. But anyway, we sat and had a coffee with her, and we had a chat and stuff. And she's a sweetheart. And then she goes, "Do you know? I remember somebody reminded me of something the other day. When I was a little girl, I remember going to Greenhead Park and meeting with my sister, my older sister, and my mum. There were a lot of Italians in the park, and these Italians would all wear these outfits, and they would be chilling in the park and
In the UK?
Yeah. So it turned out that at the top of Huddersfield there used to be a POW camp, and it had a lot of Italian soldiers in there. Yeah, and they used to let them into Huddersfield on day release, and she remembers these Italians. And weirdly, there's still an Italian sort of Huddersfield's a real melting pot of different cultures, but there's still quite a lot of Italian base in Huddersfield, which I could never ever fathom living here why there were so many Italians, and now that's the reason. So some of them obviously got married and stayed.
Scotland's another place with lots of Italians, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of. I'm not going to say this bloke is the full example of this, but an example of that is Paolo Nutini. So he's proper Scottish, isn't he? I'm not saying he's like Italian. That's how I know through him, and he done something years ago, and he talks about it. But yeah, really, really cool. Like I say, obviously, I don't know what they did. Did they change sides during the war? I can't remember what happened.
Well, I think that the bulk of the Italians never wanted to go to war anyway.
No.
So when they came here, because there's Eden Camp on the A64 on the other side of York, which is another one. And that's still intact and as it was, which is really cool. But yeah, it's just fascinating. It's just something I learned today, and I was like, holy cow, that's mental. That's absolutely insane.
Strap yourselves in, boys. We're getting the big guns out. The Weisstefana Hefeweiss Dunkel.
All right, then he's going to be dossing. And
I have my Weisstefana pretty Weisstefana glass.
I've got the Hefeweiss, but not the Dunkel.
Right. If I've got the Hefeweiss, I will have it with you.
I've only just opened this one, so you might have to
drink up then, Tommy. I don't have the Hefeweiss. I've got their. Yeah, I bought a couple of bottles of this. It was like £2.80 in Beers of Europe. It was mental.
It's perverse, and the pricing.
Oh my god, it's perverse. I mean, it was a bit weird going in the shop. I've got a video coming out. And I won't spoil it, but you kind of walk in the shop and it looks like the shelves are barren,
right?
But they have a dedicated space for every different beer they sell, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And obviously their stock rotation's quite high.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, certainly down the German beer aisle, not so much the British one, but certainly the German one, it was like it looked hot. The shelves looked half full, but you are literally in the German aisle. If you go to like a decent sized Tesco and you go all the way down an aisle through the middle bit and continue down the same aisle, that is the German beer aisle. So you're in the German beer aisle going, this looks a bit barren, but there's about 70 beers I can choose from still. Yeah, it's just a bit weird. And there's nothing much. I don't think there's many beers over, like, you know, not the like Doppelbocks are a bit more obviously, but if you're looking at your Weiss beers, your Dunkelweisses, your Helles, your Pils, Keller beers, you're paying between £2.50, maybe even a bit less, maybe £2.30 and £3.
It's just cheap.
It's a good shop, and 2 F-35s went over at high speed, and so I was absolutely loving life.
I've just seen James in chat.
Yes,
I wondered. Yes,
James Hickey, how you doing, mate?
Mate, I was driving along, I heard a beep, and I was like,
"Who's that?"
Well, I just yeah, no, there was nothing like that. I just thought, for a moment, I was not quite in the zone. I was thinking about something, and I might have been on the phone to you, Mark. Weirdly, oh no, I think it might have been my mum actually. It's very hard to tell between Mark and my mum. But anyway, yeah.
Both have big tits. No. I've never seen your mum, John. Sorry.
That's better than I was going to say if they got the same beard. So you saved me there.
So, I'll tell you said that. And anyway, I heard the beep, and then for a second I was like, "Have I just cut somebody up?"
That's when you know That's when you know you're in supermarket sweep.
Oh man! And then
That
all I saw was a black Corsa going across the road behind me. So I don't know if that was you, James, but there was like a black. Well, it could have been a black. I thought it was a black Corsa that went like across the junction. I thought I'd cut that person up. But thank you, James, for the beep, and cheers, old boy.
Right then. Joey says we have we had some amazing basketball players from Lithuania. Yes, it is their number one sport after. Well, I think it's their number one sport or their number two sport after football. Cleveland's own. Right now you're winding me up. Zydrunas Ilgasukas is from there. He's one of my favourite basketball players. Blue Fox 11 says Savaturis are a good Lithuanian brewery. They are. I had a lot of their lager. I think that's what kind of knackered me up to the point where I had to go to hospital 2 days after getting back. True story. Paul says, Rob, total legend, great brewer in my opinion. He is the loveliest bloke. He's one of the nicest blokes in like the beer scene, isn't he? Like such a nice guy.
Oh, Rob's lovely.
I'd love to try his beer. I really.
His reviews are just so relaxing.
He goes to like another level with his stuff. Makes me look. Well, I am the most amateur probably out of all of us, but he makes me look very, very silly. Joey says, Mark, if you want to go to Instagram or StreamYard, I can email it to you. Yes, I need to get that. I'll get that in a minute. Joey said, that's awesome. Like the sort of local history, John, about the camp. Joey says, speaking of Italians, I have a couple of Messi Inter Miami jerseys available. Let me know. Yeah, but Messi's Argentinian.
Yeah, we don't really want those.
To give it to you, Inter MI, you got Inter Milan. So that's maybe the Italian connection. And then James says how he was swearing at you at that junction in Huddersfield the other day. Can I just say, that's a flipping good beer.
It's great, isn't it?
I'll tell you what it is.
I've had one. It's very good.
The Franciscana Dunkelweiss.
It looks like pond water.
So honestly, it looks absolutely miserable. My dad would be like, take that back.
Yeah.
The Franciscana Dunkelweiss over 3 sips, and I've got one in here. Where is it? I thought I had one. Oh, I kicked it on the floor. There you go. No, that's just a normal Did I drink it? I do this all the time. I get pissed and I drink all the good stuff. Why did I do
Well, while Mark's rummaging around, I accidentally bought a pint of this the other day, not knowing how strong it was. It's the Schneiderweiss Aventinus Weizen Doppelbock. There's a little picture there. Yeah, so I can't remember much after that. It's 8.2%. And a pint of it cost £9.20.
Yeah, but that's one of those you're never going to drink it again beers.
Oh, yeah, and it was stunning. I'll be honest. I have no regrets at all. But, yes.
Was it really good, though?
It was really good. I will also clarify, I didn't know it was £9.20 when I bought it.
Does like the finer things in life.
He does like the finer things in life.
I didn't drink it. It was actually in the freezer. I put it in the freezer 5 minutes ago. So who knows? But I'd say over 3 or 4 sips, this beer's better.
Which one's that? Sorry,
this is the Franciscana Hefeweiss Dunkel.
Okay,
I'd say that is over 3 or 4 sips. That is a better beer than the Weisstefana. But the Weisstefana is just stupidly drinkable. What is it? 5.1, 5.2? Might even be stronger than that.
That's interesting. I generally feel like I enjoy Weisstefana's stuff more than Franziskaner, but then again, I don't know. I've not had that much Franziskaner, so maybe that's not true.
I think pound for pound, the Franciscana is better, like the standard Weiss beer. The Weisstefana Helles is a flipping joke. And this is absolutely 10 out of 10 for like indulgence and a bit of drinkability. Whereas if you're going to drink two, you'd want that.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm just thinking, James, was it in Shipley? Which van was it? Was it a grey one or a black one?
Joey's fired back saying all the Italians went to Argentina after the war, maybe.
including Hitler and a lot of his friends.
Kind of true. Yeah. Have a look at. Did you ever watch a series called Hunting Hitler? Where they went to a place called Bariloche, and it was literally like being in the Bavarian mountains.
Yeah, there's a lot of evidence that suggests that he might have made it out and went there. It
does stink of a cover up. Joey said it's wild to think that most World War II veterans are almost 100. Yeah, that is. We just before COVID, December 2019, we drove down to a Bavarian. We drove. It was a mission. I kind of got my way with what we did as well. So on the Friday night, we drove down to Lille, and then on Thursday, then the Friday morning, we drove from Lille down to Bastogne. So if anyone's seen Band of Brothers, where they get, have you seen Band of Brothers, you guys?
Yeah, a long time ago, but yes.
You know where they get sort of artillery in the foxholes? We went there, Battle of the Bulge area.
Yeah. And
then we drove. So whilst we were at the Battle of the Bulge, I didn't realise it was the 80th anniversary, and it was called Nuts Weekend. So the Germans said surrender. General McAuliffe sent a thing back saying nuts, as if to say, piss off. It was the 80th anniversary of when he said that, and we were in December. We were in there December in the Bois Jacques, which is like where it all took place, in and around the Easy Company foxholes, and the snow was falling, and we were having this tour. It was the most. I'll bore you with all the details off stream because everyone's going to log out if we talk about it. But we'd done that until about midday, and then drove 8 hours from there down to Bavaria and caught the most amazing German Christmas market for 3 days in a place called Rothenburg ob der Tauber.
I need to go.
But my point is, at this Nuts Weekend, they were wheeling in some of the Easy Company guys.
Oh, wow.
And like proper Americans live in America still. And I'm not being disrespectful when I say this. I'm not. I'm one of the most respectful people when it comes to war stuff. These guys looked on the edge of it.
Oh.
They were like oxygen, 2 or 3 carers per person. They were old, and it was like shocking. It was like shocking because this history is gonna die one day, and it's gonna be such a shame.
I hope not.
It won't. Hopefully, it won't.
I'm going to teach I'm teaching my kids thoroughly about it. So me and Kobe watch World War II in colour.
Oh yes,
yeah. He's reading a book at the moment. It's about. I'm not sure if I get this right, but it's about the Second World War from the point of view of this. I'm sure it's like a dog or something that was in. Like they've done it in a way so not to terrify the kids, but to let them know what it's like. And yeah, he finds it fascinating. So
they're learning about the Cold War now. The kids, all the Second World War stuff that we learned about as kids, they're now learning about the Cold War, which is probably historically and in modern day more.
It's a lot more relevant given what's going on at the moment with our illustrious plonker Putin. Yeah,
exactly that. Matt Hall says Mark loses control after a few beers. No, I don't, Matt. Who are you lying to? Mark, are you still up for Derby Beer Con? No, I and Tom, I haven't even replied to Tom's 17 messages about this.
I've given up.
I've tried. When I say I've tried to make it happen, and I've put saying no off so many times because I've tried to make it happen. This was all compounded by a phone call with Ford I had last week where they said we're going to need £1,000 for that engine of yours. So, yeah.
I think that's wrong when they know there's such a fault with them.
Yeah, it is. But the problem, I tell you, the specific problem we've got is they want service history. Well, the former owner of the vehicle was a mechanic. So he serviced the vehicle, didn't get it stamped.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because there's something called block exemption. So block exemption came in, which basically means as long as you have the receipts that parts were fitted to it that were.
I don't think we have.
Oh no, really?
I just knew he was like like I looked in his garage, like you could see he was a mechanic.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just better to do it that way. But yeah. But yeah, the long and short of it is we could be paying £450 if the head doesn't need to be skimmed. But because it's an alley head and it's had high temperature, it could have warped.
Yeah, but see that, I still think that I've done loads of engine rebuilds. With a warped head, it has to be absolutely shagged to need skimming. And most people skim a head out of just total, oh yeah, I need to skim it. You don't need to skim it. If the face plates are all right and you put a measure on it, a straight, and it's not too bad, then all you need to do is put it back on your block, get it up to temperature, and then retorque it, and it will be fine. And I've done hundreds of them, and I never needed to skim them, and they're still going.
Do you want to do mine? £300.
Honestly, like it just does my head in there. Like people are like, oh, skim it. No, what you want to do, you want to check that it's not cracked. That's the most important thing.
Just before you come off that comment,
Anyway.
Matt, what day are you going to Derby BeerCon this year? Because I'm undecided what day to go at the minute.
What date is it again? Is it like the 20th of October or something?
Oh my goodness. I don't even know if I'm free anymore, I'll be honest. It's been that long. Hold on.
Yeah. Tom's actually going to Paris with what?
He's on holiday.
Who's it?
Dungeons of France.
Give us a thumbs up when you're ready, Tommy. James Hickey says, were you dropping some beers at any pubs in Shipley?
So I went to Keighley. This was yesterday, and then I went to Leeds, and I had 2 drops there, top of Leeds. So I wasn't far from Haworth, but I was driving in and around that area. The other van, it could have gone to Shipley. It had 22 casks in it, so I went all the way up to the northeast.
Tommy?
It's the Friday and Saturday starting 2 weeks tomorrow.
What
which is the 15th and 16th.
I am going to have had quite a good week this week. So, are the tickets still on sale or no?
Yeah. I don't think they'll sell out.
Oh, okay.
Is that this weekend?
No, 2 weeks.
Sorry, 15th and 16th. Oh
2
my
weeks
gosh.
time.
It's 31st.
This is quite funny because James Hickey says he was the black one with the bra. Well, you think that's a bit naughty, and then you realise bra is branding on the side.
Oh yeah, no, that's Steve. That would have been Steve. Steve. No, but I got beeped at, so maybe the beeping that I got beeped at was genuinely because I cut somebody up.
Joey says, love that stuff. The Argentina-German connection, yeah, it's mental. Needs a bit more of a look at, but it's probably easier for them to keep quiet than it is to investigate it. Blue Fox says, Leicester has a craft beer festival starting tomorrow, which he's going to, but it's no comparison to Nottingham Craft Beer Festival, Crummy. We are so behind the craft beer compared to Nottingham, unfortunately. Leicester's a very different place to Nottingham. I've been to both. It's just not. It's a very different place.
And Nottingham's punching above its weight in terms of its size on the beer front as well.
The nice thing is,
not yet.
All I can say, Leicester, you've got a craft beer festival.
Yeah, true, exactly. Square Table, Joey says, Band of Brothers is so choice. It really is.
It is
I think it called itself a documentary series, but there were a lot of things in there that weren't. Not that they weren't true. Well, like the main bits in Band of Brothers. It's not the fact that the main bits weren't true. It's that just they were Hollywoodified.
Hollywooded.
Not Hollywood boobied.
Ali with a movie. They were very sort of Hollywood and but Joey, message me on Instagram because we can. I want to send you some photos. Message me on Instagram about this because I will talk about this all day long. But yeah, interesting. Joey says I like the Vietnam movies, but you weren't there, Joey. More than World War II movies though. Vietnam was such a you might have been there actually. Vietnam, I think you're probably a bit early for you. Joey said I told my daughter about how she was a baby and I was in Iraq talking to the wife via Skype. She started crying and everyone in command post come running in.
Oh.
They thought someone had brought a baby into the air terminal, so I joked she caused an incident.
Man.
You guys. I was watching Inside the RAF the other day. Really good. Have you seen it, John? It's so
brilliant.
great.
I love it. Yeah, I watched that.
Channel 4. I think it's called Inside the RAF, and the personal sacrifice that people on the boots on the ground make for our freedom is incredible.
Have you watched the one with the Royal Navy on the aircraft carrier?
I think I caught the third one where they were bombing that island off the west coast of Scotland. Tom, you probably know it.
Well, the one I saw, somebody
like Westwood Island or something,
bootlegged and stuck it on YouTube, and it's like a 10-part series. That was interesting, and there was this one bloke,
4, I think, or whatever the platform.
Yeah, well, this was just on YouTube, and it's obviously been ripped off one of these channels. And there was this guy in there, and he'd remind me of Lee Evans, but taller and skinnier. And all he did was he was a chef, and he dealt with like the food logistics, and he was hilarious, and he kept getting in trouble. He kept getting told off all the time, and he like missed his shore leave and all that. But he was a lovely guy, and basically, you could tell the military had really done him good because he was just a wild man. And you know the mad bit is the captain of the ship is like, those are the men that we need. They're the ones that when battle comes, they're not frightened. And they inspire everybody else to go for it. And I was just like, this is flipping awesome. It showed like they could have picked anybody else, you know, like all like the people that you want to see, but they picked the guy who was a chef who was just nuts. It was great.
Yeah, it's a really good thing. It's like even when they done the bit about it was specifically about Lossiemouth. And they kind of done a bit on like the mechanics and the guys that even just filled the paperwork in at the front desk, right up to the fighter pilots on the front line. Incredible, really, really good series. And Matt Hall says someone needs to help Raggy get back to Nottingham safely.
We need to get him one of them big old orbs, you know them
Zorb
orbs. Zorb. Get him a Zorb. Get Raggy in there after a few beers, and then he can just be wheeled back then.
And you can fill it up for beer with Raggy as well. So when he goes back, it's something to sip on. Joey said it's 4:20 on the east coast of the UK. I bet it is. Matt Hall says on the Saturday. Still tickets available.
Derby's not far from me.
Oh, should I just get my wanger out and book it?
Get your wire out, you dirty dog.
Well, my wife's away.
My wife.
Not to do with the wanger. But more like the confidence I need to book the weekend.
We'll let him sit and fester on that one for a bit longer.
See, yeah. I'd love to book it, but the bar is imminent at any moment.
Imminent.
It's what? Sorry, John.
Imminent.
Remember that bar is
inevitable.
Buddy.
Inevitable.
Yes. Any moment. So I'm kind of like, a bit Wookie. That just like,
oh, come on then. Oh no, I'm going to do the normal Frankie.
He's gonna be in bed at 11. He's gonna have 14 poos.
But I don't get hangovers off Vice beer, so it's okay.
I don't understand that because Vice beers are the ones that give you worse hangovers because of the particular type of alcohol that is in a Weiss beer over others. It's
Is it,
high.
is it different?
Yes, a lot different. Yeah.
How so?
So what? There is a.
bit more vicey.
Please tell me, because most of my tragic hangovers are in line with consuming Weiss beers. So
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to
It's
understand.
I think it's the. I want to say it's the methanol content. Hang on, I'll Google it. Why do we get worse hangovers? They are for me. With weed, Weiss beer. Sorry. I went there.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the most beautiful pint of Weiss beer you've ever seen in your life? Get your dome out, Tom. Love that, didn't you?
That is look at it. Just look at it. It's a thing of beauty. Still looks like pond water, but it's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, but it's been nice, banana-y, spicy pond water.
Indeed.
It's like the Marks and Spencer's efforts. This
This isn't just pond water.
It's German banana-y, spicy pond water. Why am I overexposed? This is weird. Get off.
Oh yeah, he suddenly went.
It's because I held the beer up to the bloody screen.
What do you say, John?
I can't find something. Mike told me the other day. It's something to do with ethanol.
Curious.
Curious.
There's
definitely. Yeah, so a lot of people have put I find this is what somebody's written here about Paulana. I find that more than 1 or 2 pints of any Weiss beer will give me a horrendous hangover, but German lagers don't have anywhere near the same effect.
I agree.
Yeah, I do you know, honestly, that's why I don't drink Weiss beer, because the times that I have, I've been very ill with it.
Myself.
Yeah,
The
that's
thing
the
is,
issue.
I'm comparing it to hazy pale ales. Give me 2 hazy pale ales and an IPA, and I'm absolutely decked for about 4 days.
Oh yeah, me too. But that's the hop value.
It's got to be in it.
Yeah.
So really, what I'm saying is, I've drunk far too much of the good. Now, where I drop down to the German stuff, it's like it's water off a duck's back.
Fair.
Tomorrow morning, I'll be like, boys, I haven't gone into work today. It's scrambled from my bed.
Yeah, see, if I only drink straight up stouts or porters, I'm no issue at all.
Yeah, but you're a dark beermoth of a man.
But I can drink Guinness. I could have 4 big cans of Guinness.
Guinness doesn't count. Guinness is fortified water at this point.
Yeah, I'll be absolutely fine.
It's basically a sports drink.
Right, wee time.
It's dark prime.
No, it's not as bad. I reckon that'd give you a worse hangover.
Yeah, especially the stuff that's been made in these dodgy factories.
Oh, Il Corvo's just said Weiss beer dehydrates me faster than other styles. I wonder if that's it. I wonder if that's the thing.
Mike has told me the specific chemical reason why Weiss beers give you a worse hangover, and it's something to do with, I want to say, something that is given off during the fermentation process. So whether it's ethers or esters or something like that, and that particularly affects your head.
Interesting. Well, ask me again and let me know, because I'd love to know how to counteract it, because I love Weiss beers, but they don't love me.
No, I mean, I honestly, I don't drink them at all for that reason. I've only literally 2 pints and I feel horrendous the next day.
Well, I'm glad it's not only me.
Well, you've taught me out of having a Weiss beer now, so I'm going to find something else.
Right. Matt Hall says, in the style of Arnie, do it now.
Do it. Get to the chopper.
Yeah, I know. I probably just got to, like I say, get me wangy out and be a big boy and do it. Blue Fox says, John, got any 5-litre mini kegs in stock? Need to use my beer monster.
Yeah, I haven't bought any because the price. I have to buy a pallet of them, and they don't move necessarily that fast. Well, they do move, but not as fast as they used to. And also, I have a penchant for drinking them myself, so I haven't ordered a pallet of them because, well, one of the things is bottles has gone absolutely blooming mental. I can't. The other day, a company rang up and just cleared us out of stock, the whole lot, everything. I'll
What,
buy
bottles specifically?
every bottle you've got. I was like, what? And they were like, we want everything. I was like, oh, okay.
Thanks.
Thanks. So we held some back for the orders that we've got, and we know that we're going, but everything else went the whole lot. So we're having to redo it. And then they rang back and said, can you do us a Christmas special beer? And I said, yeah, mate, anything you want. And they were like, yeah, we'll have this. And I want a Jensen Interceptor on it.
No, you've told them that a Jensen Interceptor.
No.
I'm absolutely not having that they wanted a Jensen Interceptor.
They wanted a
You've
Jensen
recommended that.
Interceptor, and it wants to be called. They wanted to call it Driving Home for Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be in a Jensen Interceptor. You'd be broken down on the way home for Christmas.
Important fact for you that I learned this weekend: the Jensen Interceptor was the first first car that
Fiberglass.
you could buy on the shelf that had 4-wheel drive. First car.
Hold on.
Jensen Interceptor's 4-wheel drive. Flipping egg. Fair play.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that it's both 4-wheel drive and predates the Land Rover.
No. Car. A Land Rover is like a 4x4. But
it's a car. Do you mean it's the first car? Do you mean it's the first saloon with 4-wheel drive?
No, first car. It's not a Jeep and a Land Rover. Well, Jeep's before the Land Rover. I just like to correct.
Yeah, I corrected myself. I said Jeep afterwards.
But yeah, no. Like technically, the Jeep and the Land Rover are kind of military vehicles. If you want to get really nerdy.
So Matt Hall's had a good idea.
Go on.
A chocolate orange Christmas beer, John.
Oh, Matt, it'd be like chewing on a Christingle, mate. Don't do it.
Oh my god. Thing is, Matt, what you got to really be careful there, and John won't know this because he hasn't brewed one yet, but you really got to be careful about what essence you're using it. I'm joking. Blue Fox says the domage on that, Mark. Yeah, I was quite happy with that. Really. Ilko says Vice beer dehydrates me faster than other styles. Yeah, you do know it. There is something quite absorbent about a Vice beer where you do feel dehydrated, but I just combat that by drinking 16 pints of water. There's no way I'm living without my Vice beer. Matt Hall says I'm with Blue Fox. I used to love my mini keg subscription. Are they finished now? Did John finish it up?
Well, he said he's not ordered any more mini kegs, so I'm guessing so.
Yeah, that's a shame because
he was saying they weren't moving as quick, but I do wonder if that's down to partly how bad our summer's been. It's a very barbecue thing, a mini keg, I reckon.
Yeah, you are right. I mean, I noticed over 24 hours, I noticed that grain Pilsner go downhill fast over the weekend.
Go downhill? What do you mean? Sorry.
As in, I poured, so I tapped it probably a bit more, maybe more like 28 hours. I could tell that it was tapped 28 hours ago.
Right.
But
I see.
But that's obviously a Pilsner. Whereas your stout, Tom, that you did with, was it a Blue Monkey stout?
I mean, I've had a lot in there.
I can't remember what you did. You were doing the test.
The longevity test was chocolate gorilla, yeah.
And you said that was like 9 days, wasn't it, in the end or something?
9 days, and it was still good. Yeah, it wasn't as good, but it was still very happy to drink a pint of it. Good, yeah.
Whereas the Pilsner drop off just over a day was like insane.
Is that because of the carbonation, you think?
I think so. I think it.
What's that with the beer monster?
Yeah.
I found that with the Pilsner, especially, I had what was the German one called? I want to say Bitburger. Is Bitburger? Yeah, Bitburger's a
Bitburger,
Pilsner.
yeah, they do the 5
Yeah.
litres.
And so the first one of those I had, I experienced what you had, Mark, where
Mhm.
on the second day it had lost a lot.
Yeah.
But the second time I had one, what I did is I sacrificed a canister effectively.
Mm,
So what I did is I turned the gas on, and cranked it all the way up, so
yeah.
it was really full, and then left it.
I didn't do that, see.
Yeah, and it was all right then, but it had lost a bit the next day. Equally so, I did another one, and I did that. I thought, oh, I'll top up the gas because I'd had too much to drink. And then I didn't drink it for like 4 days. But what had happened is the gas had all absorbed into the beer, and it just poured foam. It was just like it literally, because that's effectively when we carbonate beer. It goes into what's called a unitank, which, imagine a mini keg is not a million miles away, and basically you fire CO2 into the bottom of it with a carbonation stone, which is like
This is called forced carbonation for people that don't know.
yeah, and basically it fills the tank inside, and we pressurize it to like X amount. It's under a bar, so it's not a lot. And then basically, what happens then is the beer absorbs the molecules, the CO2 molecules attach themselves to the beer. So what I in fact created with the beer monster was that process, and it was impossible to drink. So in the end, I ended up taking it out of the beer monster and drinking it directly from the keg.
I remember the first time, you know when you're getting used to the CO2 cans, you're a bit like, oh, is that enough? Is that enough? Bit more, bit more. I remember depressurizing my first keg, and the dregs went to the ceiling, and I was like, right, I need to refine this process now because my ceiling's covered in lager. And
Yeah, I mean, it's good that there's photo frames here that are easily wipeable. Is all I'm going to say.
I love it. It's a great little machine.
But
I'm
I tell
looking
you
forward
what,
to
all these little idiosyncrasies about it, I would not trade it for a PD in any circumstance at all. I love it.
It's the whole kind of 80s, 90s Italian car thing.
Yeah,
It is. It is.
is.
It's like owning an Alfa Romeo 142 that you
Yeah.
hate, and it just winds you up every 2 seconds. But
You've got to know exactly what switch gear to press when for it not to blow up and be fun. But when you learn it,
it
it's very
really
rewarding.
is. Yeah, it is.
It is exactly that.
Even to the point, and Tom won't mind me saying this, even to the point where the other day Tom rung me and he was like, "Have you had this issue with your beer monster?" And I was like, "Yes," with the rod firing out the top. And I was like, the instructions didn't say this, but you have to wind the gas beer dispensing head onto the rod through the brace that you don't think you'll need.
Yeah.
Because the brace kind of like holds the rod in position. I was like, that's just one of the best things about it. Like I'm sure all of us have rung each other 3 times about different things about the beer monster.
I lost my brace, so I use a folded piece of paper or something.
What, to force it back in?
To jam it between the lid. Something like that with the lid. You know, like a toasted cheese sandwich to get
it. Sitting on it.
Yeah. It's a great. I love it, and I'm fully expecting. I mean, the fact that I've got this long out of it, and we've used it at the brewery as well when we've not want to put a whole cask on. I'll whack 5 litres of that on and get through a load of different stuff for people when we've had only a few people, and it's done great. So when I get my shed, my beautiful shed, not that I'm very excited and plugging the fact that I'm getting a shed. The beer monster is going to go in there. I'm so excited. It's going to be, you're going to see lots of live streams because I'm like, I'm hiding from the children and my wife, and I have a beer machine. Oh, like that.
Who are you hiding from? Who are you hiding from?
The wife. Mama! Do you know, I watched a reel. No, it was a short on YouTube. And it was a lady got in the car and Borat was sat in the back.
I saw
And
it.
Did
Yes.
you see that?
Yeah.
So he must know him. There's no other way. And that was the fun. I thought that was, she was in complete shock. Complete shock.
Right, there's an interesting one here from. I'm just going to skip a couple of comments. Matt and David.
Oh,
Blue
Disco made me
Fox.
do it. It's going to be good.
I have a Beer Monster sub and PD. Beer Monster by far is the best value. £17 Budvar kegs and home bargains.
Yeah,
The
man.
PD kegs have slowly increased. I presume that's in price, and now they are stopping the discount through the app.
Do you know what is available on the PD?
Franciscana.
No, the Spartan Oktoberfest beer.
Yeah, but that was probably my least favourite out of the 6 last year.
I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to have to give away the contents of an upcoming video, but don't buy it.
I like Spartan that with their products.
Spartans,
the Germans are coming. Don't mention Simon. But that particular beer, I've had that as well, and I thought it's all right.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. That's it. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just okay.
I was shocked because Spartan are owned by the people that own Lowenbrau, and in turn, they're owned by AB InBev. I didn't realise that about Spartan. And when you look at the label with the diagonal blue design on it, sorry to spoil your video, Tom, because of different beers, but I was shocked at how. I mean, the Spartan bottle was the most traditional looking bottle up there with the Augustina. And the label design's kind of got that kind of like, it's not tea, but do you remember at school we used to soak the old pirate maps in with tea?
Hold on, they've changed. One sec.
Right. This would be interesting.
Oh. What's the bet? It's not brewed in Germany anymore. When it's brewed.
No, it has to be. For it to be called an Oktoberfest beer, it has to be brewed using the water supply from the Munich of. Yeah. That looks the most. That looks like it's been pulled out the 1700s, doesn't it? That can wrap and everything. And it was just the most disappointing beer. And then it made sense because it's the first time I'd really got involved in Oktoberfest. And then the Spartan beer went into Lidl along with the Lowenbrau. I was like, hold on a minute. This only happens when AB InBev are involved.
But Aldi got the Paulaner and the Spartan last year.
Sorry, or was it Aldi? Sorry, it was out. Sorry, it wasn't Lidl. It was Aldi.
But they had the Paulaner.
But then Paulaner, I'm sure by volume brew the most of their Oktoberfest beer. So
it is the most heavily consumed. Giving away facts from my video. Yes, it is.
Sorry, Tom, I'm killing your video.
Right.
But I mean, every British Oktoberfest, if they've got an Oktoberfest beer, it will be the Paulaner or the Lowenbrau. But I'm going to stop talking now because I'm not.
You're leading me down a track to give everything away. I'm saying nothing.
We're not going to do it now. We're not going to do it now. Straight on to Blue Fox's next comment. Blade kegs are now sometimes cheaper than PD, and they are 8 litres. Is the Blade? What one's the Blade? Is that the big like illuminated looking thing?
Yeah, they were a Heineken product to get Heineken Zero on the bar.
But people. The choice isn't as good. And Blue Fox says, I had the Spartan Oktoberfest on the PD. I prefer the normal Spartan. I will agree with that. The Lowenbrau Oktoberfest on PD, however, is superb. The Lowenbrau Oktoberfest, for me, is a decent beer. But I only had it on bottle. Chris the Butcher, how you doing, mate? Evening, everyone. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you're well.
Chris.
Really good to see you.
What a legend.
David says, hi, Chris. Chris says, hi, David. Il Corvo says, Paulaner is distributed by Heineken in the UK. AB have Spartan and Lowenbrau. And also, something to remember, not an Oktoberfest beer, but Adnams are a distributor for Bitburger. So Yeah.
What do you think?
So
What do you think of my reading glasses? This is when I wanted to see everybody very close up.
You look less like me now.
I can
gone from
literally
that-
see every pixel on the screen. They're
you've
that
gone
good.
from the cool PE teacher to the weird geography teacher that might touch you when you've not homework.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Chris the Butcher says, I love Heineken. I'll tell you what, Heineken out of Amsterdam or out of pubs in Amsterdam is
He's
very,
all right. It's good, isn't
very
it?
good. It's a good
Especially in
lager.
summer, they get a big
Yeah.
old tankard, they dip it in water and put it in a freezer, and then when they pour it, it literally turns into a beer slushy. It's awesome.
It's my favourite generic big brand lager if it's an import.
I'll go
Yeah.
with that, 100%. You get the
Yeah.
good cans of it. It's really, really good. James Hickey says, how come it's mostly lagers that are Oktoberfest beers? I'd rather have an amped up Weiss beer. Lagers were... So an Oktoberfest beer was a beer brewed in March. So Weiss beers... So generally speaking, there was Tom, have you included the Fireban thing in your videos?
I have not, so crack on.
Okay, so between the months of March and October, end to the start, there was a fire ban in Munich, and the reason for that was there were massive fires in Munich, and brewing was obviously a huge fire problem in Germany, especially in their very wooden towns. So they used to ban open fires between the months of the end of March to the start of October. Well, it's actually a little bit before that. It's about the middle of September. So that's why the Oktoberfest beers are slightly darker in colour, and obviously Weiss beers won't keep or ferment as well over time as much as lagers and Marzens do. So Marzen,
Medicine.
Sorry, Tom, just talking something out of your video. Marzen is the German word for March.
Medicine.
So it's all to do with open fires, keeping beer. Weiss beers don't ferment as well over time or keep as well over time.
Medicine.
Medicine, as Paul says.
That's good. Oh, look at this guy.
Yeah, there's lots of interesting stuff. If you're into your beer history, just read about Oktoberfest after you've seen Tom's videos.
Mine aren't that educational, so don't worry. Just read anyway. But interestingly, Marzen isn't a style. It's just what all beers at Oktoberfest were traditionally labelled.
Yeah, originally, yeah.
It literally just means lager that we happen to use at this event.
Because that's the latest that they could brew that beer before the fire ban and Oktoberfest starting.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, Weiss beers over time, they're full of wheat and sugar and things like that. They don't keep or store as well. Yeah, sorry to bore you with that. But
And you probably wouldn't want to drink litre steins of Weiss beer that frequently.
No, definitely not.
That would be bound.
I think the best beer I had last year, and I'd be interested to see what you think, Tommy. I think it was the Hackerschfor Marzen. That was insane. And the Hofbrau Oktoberfest. But we'll wait to see what you think.
All I'm going to say is I've had one of them and not the other yet. And one of them is not my favourite so far.
Ooh. The worst thing was Augustina. They, from what I understand from the internet, they generally release their beer after. So I was well out of the Oktoberfest. I was about 2 weeks out of the Oktoberfest beers. Then I got hold of that John with You in York. Trembling Madness.
That's right. What a place that is.
That's like Hogwarts. If Hogwarts had a bottle shop, it would be Trembling Madness.
It would have been. Oh, mate, we had a good day, didn't we? That was good.
It was fantastic. Yeah. You know what? I don't think that video ever saw the light of day, did it?
Yeah, that's a short on my channel where you and me are spinning inside Trembling Madness.
Yeah, I was spinning as well.
Do you know though? What Mark won't tell you, I was having a terrible time at that time, and it was tough. Life was just a little bit tough at that point. And Mark came up, and actually, we had such a good laugh, and it was exactly what I needed.
I didn't know that at that time.
Yeah. We had a good laugh. Do you remember when I was taking photos of people's dog and that dog nearly bit me?
You go, dog, follow me, hashtag Dogs of York Beer Festival. And he went up to this massive Alsatian. This Alsatian was like, oh, that looks yummy. And like, it's like, what are you doing?
I do feel, I
He
feel
went,
like
"Rah!" and I was like, ah!
I do
And they were
feel
like,
like,
oh, he's only eaten 5 people this week. And it was like, oh, right, fair enough.
absolutely crap my pants.
John, I think you need to go on some dog. What's the right word? Like dog elocution lessons before you open the bar and let dogs in.
I don't. Do you know? Right. I went to a big car show this weekend, and I come to the decision.
You've come to a decision, have you?
That I'm not sure I want to let some dogs in, because some dogs are like humans; they're just horrible. So I did. I try and lock you out all the time, but you keep coming back in. Luckily, you're pretty.
Thank
Oh
you.
God, I knew you were going to go there.
And basically, I'm at this car show. There's like 5,000 of us have come to see our car YouTube heroes, and this flipping couple with these 2 poxy dogs, constantly they were like this big, and then to shut them up, they let them fight each other. So like that.
Sounds like me and my sister.
Oh, fucking it, man. And we sat there, and I'm like, we stood there, and then this bloke turned around, and he was like, "Will you your dogs up or off?" And I was like, "Okay." And then they wandered off with their dogs, and it did. But what was frustrating is in that moment, it was deeply irritating that they couldn't keep 2 little tiny dogs under control. Tom, you've got massive dogs, and they don't do that. And then,
Yeah, but you need to see me with mine.
all right. So then we went to we were on a holiday in Scotland, and we don't get a lot of time where me and her could just go and do something. And the kids wanted to go and do whatever they wanted, so we thought we'll go to they had this thing called the View Lounge, and it's like a pub, but you can go in, have a meal or whatever, or you can sit and just the view is amazing. This fucking dog, like every 25 minutes,
Is this
would
a client's
just
dog?
randomly do that bark and make me jump to the point where every time with my beer. And I was like, fucking, I'm trying to relax. And your pissing dog is barking for no reason. Anyway, I'm sorry. I've just upset all the dog owners, but
You haven't, because it winds me up when I'm out and dogs are doing it. So I wouldn't, because if I was sat there with my dogs, I'd be like, right, you're going home.
Yeah, but those are my dogs. I've got 2 reactive border collies who are designed to be reactive. They're a nightmare. I just don't even take it. Like Tom and I went camping. What, 6 weeks ago, Tom?
Yeah.
I just didn't even bring my dogs. I was like, I cannot even risk pissing off the whole campsite because my dogs are barking at Tom's dogs.
Yeah,
I just can't do it, and it would have been that way.
And Tom's
It's a
dogs
nightmare.
would have eaten your dogs probably.
Oh, mate, they got the knives and forks and napkins out. It would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, it would have been bad.
Seasoning my dog with whatever. But bloody not
Out there with the piri.
Yeah, it's like that.
Right,
Sticker in the oven, and
got visions now of Nanook sat there in his chef's hat.
Nanook's in there with the chef's hat. Kimmy's on the oven like that. Sticker in.
I love a bit of border collie, boys.
Yeah. But the thing is,
just sharpening knives because that's how she is.
yeah, she's got like teeth like a hog where they sharpen every time her mouth closes. Lou's life, evening all. Hiya, Lou. How you doing? I hope you're well. Oh,
Hi,
I
Lou.
love Lambrini. I tell you what,
Ooh.
Lambrini was my kind of gateway into alcohol when I was young. And
My
my
mother had a bottle
mother-in-law
of Lambrini the other day. Her and
loves
her
it.
mate Kez love Lambrini, don't you?
My mother-in-law calls it Lamborghini, and she doesn't even realise she's calling it Lamborghini. Genuinely calls it Lamborghini. I'm like, nah.
Oh.
One of
Look
them
at
is
that!
a
Look at that
high-end-
car! It's got those Bill Bob brakes on it.
Yes.
To be fair, they're about as classy as each other, so that works.
Oh, they are as classy as each other. One problem is one of them costs $250,000, one of them costs £250,000. Blue
You won't
Fox.
get a Countach now for under 400 grand.
Oh, it's mental, isn't it?
That is insane.
Mental. Blue Fox says Dutch Heineken on the sub is brilliant, and I bet you, my opinion of that would be the same as yours. Dutch Heineken is good. You can argue it all you like. It's a good beer. Although not when you're in Amsterdam, you've got to pay €8 for it. David says hi, Lou. Paul and Michelle say evening, Chris and Lou. Lou says not say hi to Chris the Butcher as I'm next to him.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, David. How you rate my beer?
All the crew is in.
It's everybody. Chris
Nice.
Chris Butcher says, how you doing, Paul and Michelle? Lou says, hope life is good. Hope everyone's good and doing well. I think we're good, aren't we? Everyone good?
I'm good. Lou's got a new business, and she does like candy floss and bouncy castles and all sorts of stuff for parties.
Ooh.
And she's got a product that's glow in the dark candy floss.
That's
That is insane because the
I
amount
love
of times the candy floss is it's all at the nighttime events, isn't it?
I'm like, bar opening, everybody gets a little
neon.
cheeky glow in the dark candy floss.
Yeah, hold on. Don't tell Neon Raptor about your neon candy floss. They'll be all over it.
Oh god,
Oh,
Neon Raptor will be topping all sorts of vanilla, vicey, whatever they do. Oh. Do you want one of our vanilla vices? That's 17 quid, please. You'd be like, okay. Cheers, Neon Raptor. Yeah, not keen. Paul says, all good, thanks, Chris and Lou. Lou says, oh, glad to hear it. Matt Hall says, Trembling Malice is amazing. The stairs to the toilets are a death trap. Genuinely,
yes,
it's like climbing the ladder to heaven. There's about half a metre between each tread, and there's just treachery at the bottom. If you miss a step, Professor McGonagall needs to come and pick you up.
It's like when they're getting the ring for Lord of the Rings up that big old mountain.
Is it worse than Wetherspoons?
Oh, mate, this is Wetherspoons in the 1300s. You're like crawling up the stairs. You got, it's
ye old spoons.
Honestly,
mate. Crammy, you've been to York, surely.
I've been to York, but I've not been to Trembling Madness. It wasn't open when I went to York.
Aren't there two Trembling Madnesses though? There seems to be more of like a restauranty one with the beautiful old sort of Parisian glass front. And there's the one we went in, which is genuinely Hogwarts, because I'm sure Hagrid was pulling out the Spartan Oktoberfest beers off the shelf when I was in there last time.
So the original one's in York. Is the other one in Harrogate, I want to say?
I wouldn't know. I've never been to Harrogate.
I'm not sure.
Aren't they famous for soap?
I'm going to find out.
James Hickey says, got the Spartan Oktoberfest in PD at the moment. Not impressed. Yeah, I'm with you there, mate. Hopefully the Lowenbrow Oktoberfest is better for PD. Got that chilling. I thought the Lowenbrow was the better of the two. But it's horses for courses, isn't it?
Horses for courses,
indeed.
If you're in Yorkshire. Tell me.
Lou's life. Lou says, a good laugh is the best medicine for everything. Absolutely.
It does help. And
yeah, it does.
Yeah, and not a raging hangover the next day.
Well, we'll address that one tomorrow morning.
I've got a board meeting tomorrow.
The other Trembling Madness is in Stonegate.
Stonegate is a pub group.
Is it?
Mm.
What? Where was the one we went to? It was just off the Shambles, wasn't it?
Yeah, off the Shambles. That's the famous one.
That one was cool. It was like we were in this because the front bit's a bit weird. It's like non-alcoholic, low ABV and cider. Then you go to the back bit, or this is the way it was about a year ago. Then that's all where the interesting beer is. And then upstairs there's more interesting beer and the Gryffindor common room. And yeah, it was quite strange.
They're both in York, but the restaurant is on a road called Stonegate.
That makes sense because the other one does look more restauranty. Like I said, it looks very Parisian, curved glass, and
yours.
Lots of duck egg green. Paul says the hacker Marzen didn't do it for him, but the Spartan Oktoberfest on PD of bottles is unreal. Horses for courses, mate. That's the best thing about beer. Yeah, I actually love the Marzen, but didn't get on with the Spartan Oktoberfest. But if you get it the other way, that's the best thing about beer. We don't all have to like the same thing.
I've not had the Marzen yet, so we'll see.
Chris says, "Get a cat." I've never seen one. I presume that's about the dogs.
I don't see. I've had a dog, and I've had multiple dogs over the years, and I've had cats. The reason why I don't have a dog now is two things. One, I feel they tie you to a lot of like you've got to. It's like having a toddler. And the other thing is they're messy. But the worst thing is you never know what your circumstances are. So with me, I had a greyhound called Daisy, and my dad died of cancer, and I was working and I couldn't look after her, and I had to take her back to the rescue centre where I got her from, and I've never got over it. I don't think I could ever do it again. I was literally beside myself. And the people at the rescue centre were like, she is in an amazing condition. She won't be in it. In fact, she was only in 24 hours. She was rehomed with the family. But I was just, it broke my heart. And I've never had a dog since because I don't want to go through that again.
Yeah, they do get into your heart.
Oh, it's like a member of the family. There's just no way. So, and plus, I don't want my new carpets being on.
Now we're getting somewhere. No, that's fair. Lou says there was a nightclub in Oldham called Scruples, and every time I went, I fell down the stairs.
Oh no!
Safe to say, I started going to a different club called Monty's that had no stairs. Lou preparing for bungalow life at the age of 19. Lou says I prefer Lamborghini over a Lamborghini.
Over a Lamborghini?
Really? I wouldn't do for the fuel prices.
It's true.
Lou said never go out with dog biscuits.
Never go out without dog biscuits.
That's not a bad show.
Oh, without dog biscuits. Sorry, that was a common phrase between me and my friends when we used to go to Maidstone.
That's savage. I can't believe it.
If you've ever been to Maidstone, you know what I'm talking about.
That's terrible.
Matt Hall says the old one is on Stonegate and the new one is on Lendal.
Oh, right. There you go.
Both in York. Matt says the Stonegate one has some cool retro 60s inspired flats that you can rent. Are you laughing, John?
I'm still laughing at your comment. Sorry, I'm just sorry. I've got to sort something out for work quickly. This is why being self-employed or owning a business is a pain in the ass. It's 7 minutes past 10, and I'm having to sort work stuff out.
Well, you've got to pay for that country estate you're living in, John. It's not very fair. Rascal Disco beer review.
A helicopter pad's not going to pay for itself.
Disco says, evening greets, beautiful, beery humans. Happy damn Thursday night. Cheers, Disco. Mate, it was lovely to meet you at GBBF. The first time I've met you.
Oh, he's a dude. I love him. He's a legend. Me and him, honestly, do you know what was really refreshing about him? And I'm going to get all soppy. And I'm glad I'm doing a beer called Disco made me do it at Christmas because he was so honest. And what I saw was the man, not the YouTuber. He was really honest and he was vulnerable and he told me where he was at. And you know what? That's like, it's super rare. That's like in the 5% of all the people that I know or meet ever. So, yeah, props. Props, mate.
I went up to him. I was like, Disco. And he was like, do you mind if you don't? I was like, yeah, that's cool. I was like, what? And he opened up a little bit and I was like, fair play. I was like, because there is this
Don't
There's this
start.
thing, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're going to say.
There's just like YouTube. Hey,
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
like, hey,
yeah,
we're all best
yeah.
of friends because we release videos on the internet, and it's
Yeah.
like he didn't want a bit of that. He was just like, yeah, I just want to do it on my terms. I was like, you know what, fair play.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I just
Yeah.
probably just needed to take him down a peg or two, really.
Well, no, but I was the same because I went to give him a wedgie.
Yeah, that would have wound him up. I was giving him a cuddle, and you were giving him a wedgie.
Yeah, and a gentle, and then a cock tap. You know, like you know. No, not really. That's not what happened.
Right, next comment. Lisa. She said it's lovely Lamborghini. My mother-in-law would absolutely agree with you. She likes the flavour. They do a pink one. I think they do a pink one. She's like, oh, you know what? This is better than Prosecco. Better than Prosecco. That's what she says.
To be fair, that's not a particularly hard ask. Better than Prosecco. Let's be honest.
not really.
Oh, savage.
Not really. Matt Hall says Stonegate is the street at the end of the shambles. That's the one we went to, I think.
Okay.
Like the more oldie-woldy Diagon Alley sort of one.
Maybe
I've
I've got them
recently, can you tell? Dave wants to have disco. Matt says the Evil Eye Lounge is a couple of doors down. They do an amazing nuclear daiquiri.
Don't even know what one is.
Explain to me, Matt, what goes into a nuclear daiquiri? He loves a drink, does Matt?
I've run out of beer.
Disco says,
I'm on
howdy,
my
David
last
Wilson. Paul says, hey, Disco. Yo, howdy, Paul. Lou says, I love the glow in the dark. I will be there defo for the opening.
Yeah, man, and that would be awesome. I just think
There we go.
that'd be so cool. I mean, it completely screws with your taste buds when you're drinking beer, but it'd be funny.
And then we go on to a man that's the other side of the world, probably 11 minutes past 8. What's going on, you pommy gits? Hey, Trav, how you doing, my man?
I'm all right, Trav. I'm absolutely
Oh, my God.
fine.
This man, I don't reply
love
to it
him.
all because often I'm driving in traffic jams, pulled up the side of the road, and I watch his shorts that he sends me at like 4 a.m, and I'm laughing my tits off at them.
He laughs at them, but I send him shorts. He ignores me now.
Yeah, but the thing is, where I'm driving, I don't always, or where I'm stuck in traffic jams, pulled up at the side of the road safely with my handbrake on. I don't always get the chance to reply. Lou says, my phone's on Do Not Disturb. I'm watching in black and white.
Oh, yeah. 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 Well, you have to keep pressing pause for 30 minutes and then colour comes back. And then it goes off again. And you're like, was that half an hour? I really should go to sleep now. Yeah.
Right. Matt Hall says, a nuclear daiquiri is basically alcohol poisoning in glass. It's got pretty much every spirit in it.
It sounds like they've just renamed a Long Island iced tea.
Mate, they are minging, aren't they? Long Island iced teas.
I don't like them.
Foul.
A good one I don't hate, but I would never order one.
Oh, I was at a wedding 2 weeks ago and it had mojito, which I'm all over. That is like my vibe.
I hate them.
Oh,
hate them.
you need to sort step up to me because they are in another level. Then they had.
I don't want that much foliage in my glass. Sorry.
No, that's fair. It's a bit weird when they go mint, forest of mint out the top. You're like, I didn't really want that. And they don't give you a straw, and then you're like, and it all tickles your lips. The other one was an espresso martini. That was up my street. Then it was like a porn star martini, but I wasn't keen because those days are behind me. The porn star, the porn star days, not the drinking days. And then there was like another one with like violet in it, and I was like, nah, not up for that. That is not my vibe. But they were free, and I spoke to my mate. It was one of my best mates who's getting married, and he goes, "You had a cocktail?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've had one." Because you don't want to be greedy at a wedding, do you? You don't want to be. It's like the man standing at the buffet. You know, everyone's just rolls. I've had one. I said, "I've had one, mate." He went, "Can you have a few more?" And I was like, "Why?" And he went, "Because they've sold less than £1,000, and we've paid for $2.5 grand's worth." And I was like, "Be right back." I was off. I was like 16 espresso martinis, please.
You animal.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
this. So Lydia's workmate had a party. I think it was like a 30th or something like that. And they paid for this room in this, I don't know, I want to say it was like a cricket club or something in Huddersfield. And they paid for caterers to come in, do a buffet and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, this lady wanders in with all her four or five kids and just absolutely demolishes the buffet. And then a guy at the bar videos the girls dancing and photos of their bums and whatever.
Oh,
And they were not happy and they were like moaning about it. Anyway, the person who runs the bar says, "Oh yeah, she always comes a weekend with her kids and feeds them at the buffet, but we can't stop her from doing it, so we let her do it."
Where was this? Sorry.
Right, I need a
In
wee. That's annoying.
Somewhere in Huddersfield, somewhere.
Okay. I was just about to ask Mark if he's staying on, whether I should get another beer, but he's run off. I'll wait for his return. Shall we?
Well, could you imagine if you said the buffet is now open, and then some random people from downstairs came upstairs and just helped themselves to your food?
That would be annoying.
Yeah, and apparently it's not because this family is poor. Apparently she's got loads of money. She's just tight.
She's not having to pay for groceries. She's getting a free meal. Yeah. I'm going to read some of the comments out. Save Mark's. He's back.
Here he is.
Do you like the way I come in there? Like, sort of like,
That was
Yeah,
very
I liked it. It was
because
like,
I'm not even joking. If I could try and there's bags of beer down here. Like, not even joking. This one. Piss and Head Lager.
Yeah.
Stone and Wood Pacific Ale.
Don't even know what that is.
People just keep giving me beer, and I'm not complaining because I absolutely love it. Where do we get to?
We've not got anywhere because you're only gone for about 3 seconds.
Little and often with my wee wees when I've had a beer. Lou's Life says candy floss in Lambrini is perfect. Lou, there is absolutely no way you are not marketing that south of south of Watford as a vajazzle. That's a vajazzle.
That would work.
I could see that.
Mark, how long are you staying on for?
You try me up.
Always,
no,
Always.
don't.
Oh yeah, have a go on the finger tapping. Look at the left hand on the finger tap.
Yeah.
What are you getting out there, Tommy?
He's got his trigger finger out. He's got his trigger finger out.
Have I got time for one more?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you got time for one more.
Okay. I'm gonna deep dive, see what comes out.
I don't think you can say that live.
Oh. No,
It's not too bad. Disco says, much love, gents, you legends yourselves. Hugs on the flip side, Mark, whenever that may be. Yeah, mate, honestly, if you're still in Disco, it was lovely to meet you, mate. And I'm sorry for being a bit like, hey, Disco. But yeah, you top bloke. Matt Hall says, Turtle Bay Long Island iced teas make your face numb. I'll tell you what, you'd rather drink one of those than I think the best beer they got in there is Red Stripe.
Turtle Bay in Huddersfield lasted about a year.
The one in Norwich, I'll tell you what, the one in Norwich serves decent food.
It's gone. It's just sat there doing nothing now.
Look at the way he's just stuck that down on the table. That's a statement. That is.
I'm excited.
The gold can wrap. What's going on here then?
It's not that special, but I really like it. This is one of the first beers I ever did on YouTube.
Is that the Hackish for Münchner Gold?
No.
Ooh,
Lincoln Green.
Lincoln Green's Butterscotch Ale. It's dessert beer. I feel like we're at that time.
See, interesting. Butterscotch flavour in a beer is caused by a chemical called diacetyl.
It would be if they didn't put a load of fresh butterscotch from an artisanal bakery in it.
Oh, This has properly been done, man.
Oh
They've
yeah.
done it the real way.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Should we get the big? If Tom's getting the big boy out, shall I get the big boy out? It's
I'm
not a big
gonna-
boy as such, but
I have literally got that, and I've run out. I've got nothing left.
hey, take some lessons off of Lou. Where's Lydia's Lambrini?
There is some prosecco in there.
You know what to do.
It smells like a sweet shop in here already.
Oh, really? That good?
Is it that good or
Oh,
that strong?
It's that the aroma on it is insane. It's like, are you familiar with Harry Potter?
Tom, I'm literally watching the videos right now. That's why there's been so many.
So
You've been watching Harry Potter.
I've never seen it. I've literally done the past week. I've gone from Philosopher's Stone up to the end of Prisoner of Azkaban.
So you know the train where Hagrid says goodbye to the kids?
Right, I've got a really cool one for you. Yes.
That is in Whitby, and that's the train that me and Paul and Abby went on. And I normally sponsor their beer festival, although I haven't done it this year.
So is it?
And it's also the same train that Tom Cruise stood on the roof of his new video or his new film.
I've got two things on that. One, the first is this beer. If butterbeer was legit and properly alcoholic, this is what it'd be.
Oh,
It's that indulgent.
mm.
Second bit to that train story is you know where they get the scenes with the train going over the viaduct.
Mm.
Oh, I knew he was going to pull this one out.
Yeah, so I've got a picture of the train going over the viaduct. It's not the same engine, but it's the same coach set, I believe.
Because they've got the red with the stripe, haven't they?
Right.
Yes.
I'm not one-upping. I'm just bringing my Harry Potter fact to the fore. Where my sister used to have a horse liveried down in Kent, that was the Ford Anglia that they used in...
Oh, was it? The flying car?
Was it yeah, that car was the one that they used for CGI. So they took it up to London, done CGI, and then, yeah.
All right, I want up you one more. When I went to Paul and Abby's...
Yeah, right. I had a Nimbus 3000 flipping broomstick, all right?
We went... Shoved up my bum by Harry Potter and the Half Cup Prince. You know the housing estate where Harry lived under the stairs?
Privet Drive?
Yeah, we went to Privet Drive.
I like that Mark's become an expert in a week.
I know, it's mental, isn't it?
Honestly, you want to know something else funny? All they drove was Vauxhall Estates.
Yeah, every car on that road's a Vauxhall Estate. Right?
Every car. But the Vauxhall Estate that Harry had, it was the GSI version because that was one that had alloy wheels and everyone else's had hubcaps.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's boring, isn't it?
Oh, Lids. Mark has started to watch Harry Potter. And he's
Literally
Harry Potter facts right, left, and centre.
The amount of movies you've seen.
Can you talk to him about Harry Potter? I don't know what I'm talking about. She said no, get stuff.
You've forgotten more movies than I've seen.
Who, me?
I've never seen a Die Hard. I've never seen a Lord of the Rings. Up until 2 weeks ago, I'd never seen a Harry Potter.
Lids wanted to see Lord of the Rings.
The comments here.
Lids wanted to see Lord of the Rings. The other day, I came back and she's like, I really want to see
She lives with you,
Lord
mate.
of the Rings. And I said, I can't help you with that, but I can show you Lord of the Ring piece if you like.
Right. Must get some comments. Lou says, nuclear daiquiri sounds like a drink I made for my friends at school. They all ended up missing lessons. Nuclear daiquiri sounded like, we used to call it shit mix.
What?
You must remember shit mix. You'd like pour a bit of, back when none of the alcohol was yours and you're 14, you'd pour like a bit of everything out of each bottle that your mum and dad had. And it was like a pint of like, we used to call it shit mix.
What do we call it?
Skunk, some people used to call it. But Lou's Life says Jaeger bombs are one of my favourites. I tell you what, I do like a Jaeger bomb. I'm not going to lie.
Oh,
If they've
Luke's
got like a
passed me
little
that
offer,
one.
there's like 10 Jaeger bombs for five Jaeger bombs for a tenner. I'm like,
Yeah, I
I'm
love a
having
good
that.
Jaeger bomb.
I'm having that.
I could tell you some
Lou
stories.
says
about Jaeger bombs.
butterscotch beer sounds interesting. Yeah, it does. Especially, Lou, because like John said earlier, butterscotch is normally a flavour that you would not
One in a beer.
want in beer.
Well, no, yeah, you wouldn't want it in
wouldn't want it
a lager or whatever, but unless you're specifically trying to make like a butterscotch flavour something.
But I mean, we haven't
That's
had
fine.
the beer. Tom's had it. What is that beer going to be? Is that going to be like a pale ale or a golden ale or?
I don't know. It looks like a stout.
Does
I
it?
do love a butterscotch. Kobe bought a packet of Werther's Originals up on the way up to Scotland because he's like a little ginger old man. And oh man, I was trying not to demolish them. I used to get butterscotch. My dad used to take me to this little cigarette shop in Peacehaven on the front, and it was like,
Mate, my brother lives in Peacehaven.
yeah, no, really,
Yeah. His local's the Smuggler. Is it called the Smuggler's
the
Arms?
Smugglers Arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a big fight in the Smugglers.
Yeah, it's that kind of pub.
Oh yeah, it's rough as
on the cliff
proper rough.
on the cliff top.
Yeah. I know the Smugglers.
Yeah, I've drunk in there loads of times.
No,
Loads of times.
really.
Yeah.
You know Peacehaven?
I know Peacehaven pretty well, yeah.
I used to live on Woodlands Close.
My brother lives on the Bricky.
Oh yeah, I know Bricky. Yeah. Oh my god, this is so weird.
It's mental, isn't it?
That's weird. So you know, the other day I got
Anyway,
I
sorry, guys, back in the room.
I had a massive growler the other
Yeah.
day. When I
What?
went. Yeah, I bought a massive growler and I took it
Oh.
to Crummie's. Now I've got the cup version. It's rubberized base, thermos. It's got a little
What makes this one?
same as that other one.
Where do you get it from?
Costco.
Interesting.
Very good quality considering it's made in China, but it is massive. This could take me back to the point where I need to go to the doctors because my heart's got arrhythmia if I have 700 mils of coffee a day.
I wonder where that was going.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Right.
you know the story of when I first started, I never drank coffee, and then I discovered really good, dark, strong coffee, and I realized this is what I like. And then what happened was I drank so much of it that then there was an issue with my heart. And when they checked, my heart every so often your heart fires from the top down, the electric kind of thing that fires your heart, and
Yeah.
every so often mine would fire backwards. And they said,
Right,
"How
just gonna
much coffee do you have?" And I said,
Just to get
"Lots."
a comment, John. Lose off. Chris has fell
Oh.
asleep. He's snoring, but he was up at 5 this morning for work. So I said, no night from Chris. I'm going to go now to get some sleep. Great live. I hope I catch another one soon. Lou, thank you very much for coming in. I hope you guys are really, really good.
She's
yeah.
lovely.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
She's a good one.
So, John, just to clarify, your heart was backfiring.
Yes, literally. And it was really painful as well. And they said, you need to cut your coffee down and it'll go away. And I was like, really? And my dad had really bad heart problems. So I thought, oh, this could be something to do with that. So anyway, I cut my coffee down and it went.
I'll tell you what, that's what happened exactly to, well, not the coffee, but the beer, certainly. That's what happened to me after Lithuania. So I went hard in Lithuania. I was in like, there's two sides of Vilnius. Vilnius is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful city, split by a river. One side's the old, one side's the new. You basically go into the old and drink all day, and then go into the new where like the big clubs were. There was just like ex-Soviet, like it was like a snorkel out of the ground. and we went in there. My mate Stefan, he's pretty well heeled, and he was like, table. Because it's pretty cheap over there. It's not like you're talking London tables, but it's still probably more than what my arse could do. And he went table. And it was like, if you get a table here, it's unlimited drinks, drink what you want, doesn't matter. Get a wristband. And I was literally like, table, hello, big dog, how are we doing? You know, loving life. It was like double JD and Cokes,
Oh,
7
no.
or 8 of those. And I was absolutely annihilated.
Oh, it's not good, man.
I know, but it's like I'm an idiot. Like I don't live in that world. I don't
Mate,
live in
I've done the same thing.
like it's not. I suppose it probably is in a way. I suppose it probably isn't. Like if you're on lemonade wages, because I am. I'm not a rich person. I'm on lemonade wages. It's like when someone comes in with champagne money and it's like unlimited drink or whatever. It's like, here we go. And I just got too carried away. And then I ended up. Well, I rang you from hospital, didn't I, John? I went to hospital and it was like, yeah, it wasn't anything to do with my heart. My heart was absolutely tip top. It was actually acid reflux, which can mimic a heart attack. But when you look at my family history, it was like, you are not 18 anymore, you knobhead. You're 30. At the time I was 34. It's like, why don't you grow up a little bit?
Yeah, no, mate, honestly, we've all done it. I mean, I was totally humiliated by the fact that I was panicking because I thought, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And then it was like, you just need to cut the cat. You've had 5 liters of coffee a day. I'm like, yeah, it's great. They're like, no, it's not great. It's
I like that you
kill
never thought maybe this is too much.
It's literally your body saying, stop being a knobhead.
Yeah, well, but this is
Literally.
I've got an addictive personality. That's what I can say.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, it's true. Facts.
No, I'm joking. I love you, John. You know I love
It's
you.
true. I know you do, and you keep touching me. That's why.
Right, we're going to the stream now. No, not. Lou says, Chris has pinched my martini loads of times. I always get martini in for a special occasion. Hey, when he's at that stove filming the video.
Asti Spumante Martini.
Asti Spumante. My mum loves it.
Love it. I love it. I love that. That is every Christmas we always buy at least a case of that. And then when we're having Christmas
is it
dinner,
like sweet sparkling wine at like 7% or something?
It tastes like fruit juice from the heavens.
Oh, is it that stuff? We had someone bought us a bottle and it just stayed in the cupboard forever because
Mate, it's all right. It's like a Bucks Fizz. That's like a better Bucks Fizz.
It's a banger. Yeah, it's great.
It might have got drank. I can't remember. I'll have to have a look.
It's got the Martini Racing stripe on it.
Yeah, that's the best bit about it.
It's perfect. Like you put that on the table, you're like, yeah, I've got a Porsche.
Did you know Johnny Herbert actually racist at the Indy?
Yeah, that's it. They would never know. They would never know. It says
Luke says, my Josh made me watch Harry Potter all the time. It's good though, and you watch him growing up. You really do. We've just gone through the Prisoner of Azkaban, where there's been like a couple of screaming scenes where the
I'm going for a wee. I'll be back in a minute. Hi, David. Sue.
Luke John, how you doing, mate? I hope you're well. I haven't seen you in flipping ages. I hope you're really good, mate. I've been keeping up to David Instagram. But yeah. I hope you are. He says, evening chaps and chapettes. If you're starting your weekend early, have a great time. Do something positive, support local, and peace, love, and happiness.
It's very positive.
That is blooming good.
I'm going to support an independent local restaurant on Saturday. Looking forward to it. That's my bit.
There we go. Dave Wilson, we're going to skip Lou's comment because she's obviously gone now. Dave Wilson says, hi, Luke. Luke John follows that with everything's made in China except babies. They're made in. Never mind. Luke John says, hi, Mr. Wilson. Bye, Lou. Cheers, Lou. Trav says, what's going on, you pommy gits? You said that earlier, Trav.
Yeah, there's an echo in here.
Hope you're doing well, Trav. Really good to see you, mate. And yeah, thank you for your continued support and messages. I love you to bits, mate. David says, hi, Trav. Disco says, evening, Luke John. Wise words. Cheer up. Cheers to you. Cheers, Disco. David Durrell, how you doing? Evening. When is the bar open in Huddersfield?
Wow, to wait for him to get back.
Only one man that can answer that.
And he's there in the reflection. We can see him.
Matt Hall says, night, guys. Got to get to bed. Got an early start in the morning. Cheers for coming in, Matt. You're an absolute legend. Love you to bits, mate. Thank you for coming in. James Hickey says, anyone been to a Butlins big weekender? Got one on the 15th at Skegness. Heard a few stories. No, but I have heard a few stories.
I haven't. It will come as a little surprise that I have not.
Oh, Tom, I thought you'd be all over the DJ like an MC Neat scene.
Yes, no. I have not.
No.
I can tell you.
I've heard. Is that vodka?
Oh, Lordy, coming.
No. Like you, I've never been to one, but it's like I've heard a few stories. Do you know what I mean?
I'll be honest.
I think you had a good time, James.
Skegness alone was enough.
Yeah. To be fair, you've got Butlins, big weekender, Skegness. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh, John's turned his microphone on and now he's having randy times in the mirror.
Travis Wilson says, evening, David. Dave Wilson follows that with, no. And we are caught up with the comments.
Hey.
Well done, there we go.
Beautiful. Talk to me.
We have a question for John.
And the last thing that I heard, John does not have a 4-inch penis. What?
Hey, do you want to know what a man with a 3-foot cock has for breakfast? I had cornflakes. I was kidding. It's a joke.
Every time his blood alcohol level peaks 40 milligrams, he tells that joke. It's hilarious.
I'm sorry.
We have a question for you.
Fair measure of whiskey, that, John.
I'm being rude and naughty. Sorry. What?
Mark, show him the question.
David Durrell says, evening. When is the bar opening in Huddersfield?
Right. Okay. So, long story short, not too well.
I feel like this is short story long.
Yeah, it is. Right, basically.
Long John story.
So there's this whole thing of when I've got investors who are fantastic, right? But they look at me and they think I'm a bit kind of rough around the edges. That's not helpful. That just makes me more worried. Look, my Sussex triple ripple on my neck. And so basically, the long and short of it is the estate agent who, estate agents, they're all so legit and they don't lie at all. I said, I wouldn't trust it. I told them I wouldn't trust a word that comes out of that man's mouth, even if the only thing that would make me believe him more is if a piece of pork pie fell out of his mouth as he was speaking.
That wind him up.
Yeah, and they were like, no, it's just because of his job. And I said, no, he's just a liar. He's lied that much that now he doesn't know how to tell the truth because he's forgotten how to do it. And what happened is he said, I stood there face to face with him and I said, this building will be listed. So obviously we've got to check through it. No, it's not listed. I was like, well, in Huddersfield, everything is listed because somebody went around and pretty much listed everything from the wheelie bins outside Wetherspoons to like the church in the centre, which is fine. And he was like, no, it won't be listed. Just sign the lease. Anyway, guess what?
Is it listed?
Yeah, and so we've had to go through and check that they've done all because it's had at the back of it an extension to push it out with a proper fire exit and the kitchens and everything else and all the bits and bobs that are on the back of the building. So we've had to go through all their previous planning applications to check that everything is correct before we sign the lease, because in that particular lease, all of that stuff we'd have been liable for. So as much as it's a very cheap bar, it could have been a very, very expensive bar. As it turns out, there's only a few things we need to correct. So it should be absolutely fine. So it's just waiting
to get that up and running.
We'll get it up and running. It's just going to take, I feel like we'll probably get the keys mid-Sept and then September, and then it's probably going to take me 6 to 8 weeks to turn it around. But I've kind of started fishing for bar staff and stuff like that. We've had over 200 applicants for bar staff.
Well, you're going to get some good team out of that.
Hopefully. I want hard workers, and I don't care where they've come from. So I want the most diverse, fun group of people that are just grafters. If you're a grafter, I'll pay you well. We'll have fun. And I'm not bothered what you are, where you're from. We just team. That's what I want.
I'm just in David Durrell's comment right at the bottom. Need a beer taster.
I found this in the fridge.
Is it very vintage cider?
Apparently so. And I've got the correct glass, which looks like a Kilner jar. So.
Can
I put some pressure on you, say, John, when this might be? When are you expecting all this to happen?
I reckon we'll get the keys in the next few weeks, and then it'll take.
Oh, that quick!
Yeah. Oh, we're not far off the off it, and we've got such a good deal on the beginning part of the lease. If I can't make it work, I want shooting. But Huddersfield, our council that knows everything that is like super clever, and they're the oracle of all things good and correct in planning in the world of our town. They've nearly gone bankrupt, and they might be filing for bankruptcy.
Lovely. That's what you want from your local council.
And I looked at the newspaper article, and somebody put in the comments, "You can't fix stupid," and I just and I was like, "Yeah, I think you summed it up."
It's true.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be one hell of a party when that thing opens.
Oh man, I can't wait. We've got our 3 openings. We've got the soft opening with like PR and everybody, like you guys, press, anybody that wants to come, and then the grand opening when we get the public in, treat them. And I've got this thing called the House of Lords that I want to do. So basically, the House of Lords is if you pay £100 a year, we'll make you 2 glasses. So you'll have a proper real ale glass and a pint glass with nucleation in it, so you can have a like lager as it should be, with your name etched on it, and they'll be behind the bar lit up, and you'll also get a photo of you as a lord. So we'll just take a photo of you and make you look like you could be on a horse, or you could be a princess, or whatever you want to be. And on the stairs or on the wall, we're going to have the House of Lords members, and they'll have your whatever name you want to put on them.
That's a brilliant bit of marketing, because I'm definitely just going to pay you with the most extravagant picture.
Oh yeah, they're just got to be ridiculous. And then you'll also get a little monocle that you can wear, and a tag.
Piss off. Monocle.
A little monocle.
Can it be prescription?
No. And then every time you come in our bar, the first beer's on us for a year.
That's a good deal for £100.
I'll be honest. If I lived nearby, you'd lose money. But yeah, sure.
Mate, I think I live in Norfolk, and I still think that's a good deal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. So if you want to be a member of the House of Lords, that's what you can do.
Apes, I've just got to say I'm going out for a beer. Where are you going? Yorkshire. To Huddersfield.
Yep,
That sounds epic.
it does.
Well, I wanted to do something that ties you in with, and we're having a bit of a rebrand as well. And we wanted to do something that ties you in with what we do, and is silly. I wanted fun. I want it to be a kind of just. I'd love to see a picture of myself up on the side of a pub inside as like Lord Farquaad the second of blah blah blah. And just to have your own pint glass, I think is a great flex on your mates. You're like, yeah, I have my own. Fill that up with whatever you like, and the whole theatre of it and the fun. And once you are a member and you are one of the lords, you get called lord or lady. It's just the whole fun of it. It'd just be silly. It's great fun.
It's so stupid. I love it.
It is. It's stupid and brilliant all at the same time. And then
Are you going to call
hopefully,
it like, I don't know, something really catchy like Funk for Lords? Be a funk.
He's frozen.
Have I frozen?
I haven't really. No, I was just messing with you.
Oh, you.
No, it's just going to be cool. Like House of Lords members. Do you want to be part of the House of Lords?
I really like it. We'll
silly,
chat
isn't
about
it?
this off stream, but like, I really like it.
It's just silly, isn't it? It's a bit of fun, and
A lot of your ideas, can I just say,
are shocking.
fucking mental.
Yeah.
When you tell me some about some of your ideas, I'm like, John, what Saturn moon have you escaped from to think of this?
Yeah.
Are you the same, Tom?
Sometimes, yeah.
Like, no, it's not all the time. It's not. I'm not saying that everything John says to me, but this one I like.
But
I'm a
is
big
how
fan.
it works. I'll
I'm a
have
big
100 ideas that are absolute shocking crap, and then I'll have one good one.
It works.
That's how you do it.
Like a putting
Absolutely.
green. 100 putts, one's good. Off we go to the course.
See, there you
true.
go.
It's true.
Right, Matt Hall says, "No, guys, got to go to bed. Lightweight. Got an early start in the morning. Thanks for coming in, mate." James Hickey says, "Anyone been to a Butlins?" Oh yeah, we've done this. Travis says, "Dave Wilson evening."
Good day.
Right, Matt. Travis says, "First day of spring here today. What a cracker of a day. Looks like a hot summer with limited rain above average temperatures." That was better than your summer last year, wasn't it?
Oh,
You had a
mate.
nightmare.
It's so cold now at night.
Oh, it's mental. Honestly, summer. I remember this time last year, I'd be barely sleeping under a duvet cover. Like, we
Yeah.
get rid of the duvet, just sleep under the duvet cover.
Yeah.
This time, I'm like reaching for the duvet. It's a nightmare. James Hickey, have you tried the... Right, this is one for Tommy, because I feel like Tommy might have done this. Have you tried the chocolate Old Peculiar Theakston and Tiny Rebel collab?
Not yet, no.
That is genuinely the most random collaboration I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, they've done one each way, haven't they?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's the chocolate Old Peculiar, and then I can't remember what the other one is, but it's one of Tiny Rebel's core range that Theakston have adapted. If I see the Old Peculiar one, I'll give it a go, but I'm not.
That'll be good.
Will it?
Yeah. Because Tiny Rebel cask is all right.
Can-
Is it?
Theakston's cask locally is good.
Well, Theakston's cast is incredible, especially if it's not travelled very far.
Yeah.
Are they honestly going to put their name to Tiny Rebel?
Well, this is my problem with it is a proper pint of Old Peculiar, and by proper I mean a pint out of one of two pubs in the world, both of which I happen to have been to in this year, where it's served out of the oak barrel, is such a phenomenal drink. Is it really going to be any better? And I don't think it is. So
It might be nice to taste a Tiny Rebel beer that's actually half decent, though.
I'll definitely try it, but I'm not running. If it sells out before I find it, I won't lose sleep over it.
James has said it's called Golden Clouth. Quitch.
Oh, Golden Kutch.
Golden Kutch.
Golden Kutch.
Yeah.
David Ross says, drinking Lowenbrow Oktoberfest out of my PD machine.
Very common theme today. A lot of
It's going to be good. Yeah, there's been a few like
beers
that.
in PD machines.
Need a beer tester. David Wilson says, did you reject Mark's CV?
I burnt it immediately.
It's true. Did submit it. No reply. Travis Wilson says, I work for you, Johnny.
Yeah, boy.
You bloody would as well. You'd relocate for that stuff. I know you would.
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great, man. Can you imagine me and Trav on a bar together? No one would get served. We would be blind drunk, and it'd be hilarious.
Board meeting. John was selling loads of beer, but we're not making any money. And Trav is just in there in the corner making noises like a koala bear. It'd be mental. David Durrell says, how did the George Hotel come along?
Oh dear. I don't know what to say, David. I get very frustrated with our council. This is the part of the reason why I'm doing the bar, because and I might be naive in doing this, I feel that I can make something in Huddersfield in the centre and make it successful and make it do well. And prove these flipping town planners and absolute flipping dorks of self-appointed narcissistic pricks that sit in our council that, you know, it can be done. You just got to, and it doesn't need to be done with loads of money either. You can make something successful by winning the hearts of the people in the town. So that's what I'm on with. And when I look at the George Hotel and some of the other stuff, all I can see is mismanagement and overspending.
So
and that's
what
why
you're saying is you're not keen on them.
They're £20 million out of sync by the end of this year. 20 million.
Crazy.
But luckily, they've got all that offshore money that they invest. Oh, hang on a minute. They lost that in 2008 in the Icelandic bank crash.
Right, moving swiftly on. Disco says, I think we'd all chip in to get Mark's photo as a princess.
Yeah.
Not this beard. Only that thing off for Eurovision. David says, count me in. Mark Jones says, Rasco. No.
Nice.
Mark and Newok.
Also
Mark,
true.
we could do that. That's not impossible.
David Durrell's done the quick maths on your proposal, John. And he says, if you come in every day, then that's 30p a pint for the 3 pints.
Yeah. But what you're not accounting for, David, is that the chances are that you're not going to have 1 pint, you're going to buy another. And at that point, I've won.
You can't say it like that, John, otherwise it sounds a bit sinister.
No, but that's effectively it. If you buy 2 pints, it cancels out the first one.
No,
so
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so the 100 quid is kind of like just, it pays for the picture, it pays for the glasses, and it's trying to lock you into having some fun.
You're trying to build a destination.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Disco says an Ewok princess nominated at Mark Jones. Grand Lord of the Ewokians. Is that you?
Yeah, that would be a good Grand Lord of the Ewokians.
Ilkorva says that's a good idea. I think it's a good idea.
Definitely.
David Ross says going to have bacon and egg ties like another institution called Lords.
Bacon and ties.
Bacon and egg ties.
Ties. Oh, is that in the actual House of Lords?
Or is it the Cricket Lords?
Could be.
I don't know. I don't know enough about either.
Trev says Mark's starting to get the wobblies. No. Yes.
No.
I'm fine.
What are you on about, mate? Mark Jones says, James, I've tried that Thixton beer. Very nice.
Very nice. Oh, very nice, Mark Jones. I love Mark Jones. Mark, see now there's a couple of people. Mark, I expect you to stay over in a hotel in Huddersfield somewhere. I mean, they're all rough, but
Send it to him.
there's a Premier Inn, literally a 10-minute walk, if that, from the bar, which might be strategic. I expect you to be there for the grand opening. I'm just saying, you and your missus.
James has said Golden Cutch. Is that the beer that's brewed with Fixin?
Yeah, that's the other one.
And then Disco says Golden Cutch, Tiny Rebel's Welsh Red Ale, and the Tiny Rebel Thick's another one. There you go. Cutch. David Ross says, I had a hand-pulled Old Peculiar in Whitelocks in Leeds a few weeks back. Lovely.
Oh,
Very nice.
what a pub. Have you boys been to Whitelocks?
Never
No.
been to Leeds.
You've never been to Leeds?
Never been to Leeds.
Mark, you need to come up when we go to Leeds.
Yeah, I know. But I wanted to get off on the train when you were a little bit, I can't do that.
Yeah, that's true. I was being a bit...
It is true.
I was being a bit weak.
Disco says Cutch is Welsh for cuddle.
Mm. I thought it was
David
something
Durrell
else.
asked, how far is the new bar from the station?
So on foot, it depends on which way you go, but it's about 10 minutes.
Easy.
Yeah. It depends on whether you want to get stabbed or not stabbed, is the kind of ins and outs of it.
Come and visit.
No,
James
it's fine.
Hickey says he's asked for the most, I mean, he's not meant to, but he subliminally asked for the most resounding yes of the evening.
Yes.
Are we having a country night on when you open?
James, this was a discussion that I had with my wife on holiday.
With who?
Where my wife. So as I smashed the country hits, not the wife, as we were going through the countryside, and we were playing country music. She said, "Are you going to have a country night at the brewery?" And I was like, "No, I'm going to have a country night once a month."
Goddamn dag nabbit we are.
Yeah. I think we've got to do like a country night once a month on a Friday.
Yeah.
On a Friday, once a month is
Bold
country
move.
night. Yeah.
I mean, there's bold and there's bold.
It's a bold move.
But
There's a lot of people that like country. And
Are
then
the people going to the university in Huddersfield?
there's the other 95% that don't.
yeah, I'm going to give it a go.
And I like country.
If it doesn't do well, it doesn't do well. But I'm going to try it anyway because
David Durrell has had
I love country.
a good argument against this sort of thing. Trying to remember when I last went in a bar and had just one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mark Jones says, when is it, John?
When is what?
The opening.
I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. To be confirmed. POA on that bad boy.
James Hickey says, is there a discount on beer for people wearing Lord's tops like they were at Brew London?
I'm sure if I'm about. If I'm not there, then I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure we can do something. I think there should be, shouldn't there, really?
I mean, there might be one hell of a party when it kicks off.
I think it's going to be epic.
Mark says, oh, wow, Mark, get yourself up here. Yeah, I know, I need to. I know. I've been up there a few times. I've done well.
Have. Yeah, you've come up.
I've done well.
It's just me being a lightweight.
Yeah, I know. David says, hoping to do Leeds when you come up to Huddersfield.
Oh, yeah.
David Ross, it's very beardy tonight. Yeah, I know. It's kind of got yeah. What can we do?
I need a trim.
No, you
Classic
don't.
line.
You need to
Have you got
keep
both
going
types
with
of music, country and western?
Yes.
Is that Blues Brothers? Is that Blues Brothers quote?
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it is. I'm sure it is. Country and Western.
James Hickey says, make it a Saturday night and I'll be there.
What, for a country night? It would be good, wouldn't it? I just think, yeah, I'll give it a go. Why not? Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, we'll get the Stars and Stripes. We'll do chicken fried. We'll be busting out some. Oh, talking of country artists, let me just. I found a track.
Right, don't get me copyrighted, please.
No, I'm not.
You are, because you've done it last time.
No, I have done
The
it.
only copyrighted video I've ever had is when John got 2 pissed and he started playing things off his.
I'm not playing it. It's called Rich Men North of Richmond. It's by Oliver Anthony Music. Look it up.
I'm going to go for a wee before he annihilates me.
I'm not going to do it. Right, it's gone. Let's play it. No.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's called, Rich Men North of Richmond. What a tune. So true as well.
I have an idea how you could definitely make this successful, but we'll talk about it later. Because I need to formulate my words properly. I can't do that right now.
Yeah.
But I have an idea.
It's a good idea, isn't it? Don't you think it's a good idea? We just got to.
There is the potential for a good idea. Execution is paramount.
Exactly. Needs a bit of refinement, and not making it too complicated.
Mark's definitely pissing into a corner of his room.
Yeah, he is.
Far too quick.
Mate,
this is why apes get so upset.
Something NASCAR racing, splash and dash,
smash, shake and bake, baby.
There's no right tires around here.
The left stay on, baby.
Right, guys, it's 11 o'clock. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming in tonight. John, Tom, if you don't know the channels already, John from Lord's Brewing Company, have a look at him. I think his link's in my description, as is Tom the Crummy Beard. 2 very lovely blokes. They do look very similar, but they have different axis of morals. But I love them equally the same. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. If you haven't checked the channels out already, please do. If you haven't liked this, please do. And I will. We'll see.
I'll have a look, James. I'll have a look.
Soon.
Best answer for me. I've had a couple of beers. Guys, thank you very much. I hope the rest of your week's amazing. Have an amazing weekend. I'll see you on the next one. I'm absolutely fucked. Cheers.
Love you.